conditions of Victorian xenophobia. Collingwood locked out the Camry Crows when they got here at 9 o'clock this morning on an advanced scouting party to have a bit of a look at the ground. And dare I say it, but there was the thought of a couple of whinges coming from a couple of the players. But getting onto the Mitsubishi Motors weather report, 14.8 at the present time, which has already exceeded the top temperature of 14 degrees. Humidity is currently 55%, and there's a gale blowing straight down the ground from right to left in your screen, giving a 6-goal advantage. The ground's in pretty good shape, particularly following the wettest June on record, but it is boggy on the wings, and the forecast is for hail and thunderstorms, but as you can see, it's pretty clear at the moment with no rain in sight.
All right, thanks, Gerard, and a very good afternoon to Ian Robertson.
Good afternoon, Peter, and it is surprising. We had a great night last night at the MCG with perfect ground conditions, but again here at Victoria Park, the scene is set for an interesting game, isn't it? I mean, it's a big test for Adelaide.
It is a big test. Victoria Park's a test for any club, and Don Scott and Negan agree with that. What's your selection, Don?
I'm going for Collingwood, Peter.
Ian?
I think Collingwood will win. Noticing that Starcevic and Turner are on the bench for Collingwood, and McIntyre and Hocking are on the bench for Adelaide.
Now, Adelaide are going to the left of screen, and as Gerard Healy mentioned, that is the end favoured by the strong westerly wind.
And the emergency umpire is already out there going to the centre half back position for Collingwood. Players jostling on the back end of the square. Just there, as you can see. So a little bit of tension. It's going to be Mickett and Manson to contest the first bounce.
Collingwood just have to win, Peter. If they're to make the final 6, they just have to keep on winning. So it's a very important game, and you can see that they're hepped up for it.
McEwen has the job on Hodges. The first quarter from Victoria Park. The Crows have the advantage of this strong westerly wind in the opening term, and we reckon it's round about a 6-goal breeze. Let's see if Collingwood can get the ball out of the centre. They can. The lane goes for the hand pass over the top. Here's a chance for Brown, a centering kick. He's looking for Dacos. 1-on-2 situation. Magnificent mark by the champ.
Well, it was good use of the body on that occasion. It's also interesting that Collingwood really fired up on the back end of the square as Liptak and Wright wouldn't let Liptak in, but that was indicative of the way they got the ball out. So this side really fired up. A great mark by Dacos.
Gee, if Tasker's gone, this fellow, what a job he's got. His first game. First game in the AFL anyway.
Baptism of fire, isn't it?
Isn't it?
So Dacos kicks. A low trajectory kick. That was
a missed kick, I would say.
Oh, shocking. I don't know whether the wind caught the ball before it hit his boot, but that appeared to be what happened.
Peter, watching the players doing their warm-up, certainly it's going to be difficult to kick goals to that right-hand end.
Danny Hughes, yes, certainly agree with that. Kicks in. 2 Collingwood players thumped the ball away. Krasiska got the fist to it first. Dacos grabbed high, didn't have the ball. Umpire says play on. Kerrison will do just that. Boot the ball quickly as he kicks it into the pocket. And a chance for Micken to get the ball clear. Kicks out towards the centre wing position. A chance out there for Bickley, and the ball will beat Krasiska over the boundary line for a throw-in right on the centre wing position. Yesterday we had a northerly here in Melbourne. In fact, for the last 3 or 4 weeks, I think we've had a northerly. Turned around to the west this morning. Mickett and Manson. Well, Jarman grabbed Shirley, not in possession. Nothing for that either. And the ball with a quick kick comes out of the pack. A chance for Marshall as it's flipped over to him. He kicks the ball up towards centre field. Tony Shaw. And there is a free kick. It's going Collingwood's way, and it will be taken by the Collingwood captain, who is the leading possession gatherer on average of all AFL players this year.
Kick to half forward, gathered beautifully by Russell. Handball to Mullane. Mullane's kick short. Oh, dropped what he should have taken, Micken. Collingwood in with a chance now. Williams from deep in that right pocket. And he misses. And Peter Dacos
Not
going
too happy.
Absolutely berserk there. Obviously disappointed with Williams not having really good vision. Perhaps should have set at the kick. It's one thing that you note of the really top sides, that they give up a shot for goal just to get the ball into the front to have their forwards with an easier chance. Punch away by Christian. Kick by Adelaide back in towards the centre. Klug gather. Hand pass is not bad. Filkey's got the ball in the centre of the ground. Good pass. Great pass by Filkey. And he hits Hodges. And it was an excellent lead by the full forward.
Well, Filkey should know the ground a little better than his teammates, Robbo.
Yes. Played a few games here.
This is the best I've seen Scott Hodges getting away on that occasion from McEwen. Not an easy job because McEwen very quick over the first couple of yards.
No trouble with the distance for Hodges. And accuracy is pretty good as well. First goal at Adelaide. Scott Hodges kicks the first goal from about 45 metres out. Adelaide 1 goal, Collingwood are 2 behinds.
And this is the build-up. Klug getting involved again. He really does use his work well, Klug. Makes something out of nothing on a lot of occasions. And Filkey, the good pass. And let's hope he can continue on. Scott Hodges from last week.
Back into the centre. Manson taps down. And might be pushing the back to Brown. Could be. And is. Kevin Brown to take the free kick. And to Christian. Christian from just inside the centre square, kicks to half forward. A strong grab taken by Williams. Now we'll look for Dacos this time. Didn't see him before when he had that shot from the boundary. And kicks the ball into the space. Dacos is there, but the mark is taken for Adelaide. Down there by Filkey, who decides to play on. Goes to the outer side again. This is Smart. Still inside his defensive 50-metre zone. Krasiska in front. Has the ball knocked away by Jarman. 2 Adelaide Crows at the fall of the ball. The hand pass comes back to Maynard. And Maynard in turn to Jarman. In the boggy centre wing. Centering kick by Jarman. Hodges was the target. Couldn't take the mark. Ball flipped out by Marshall. Could have almost been construed as a throw. It's left to Francis to do the tidying up work for Collingwood. Look for Krasiska. Russell with a good hip and shoulder, but the boundary line is going to be too close. And it beats Hart over that line for a throw it on centre wing. Crows with the first goal, but it's a pretty strong wind at their backs in the first quarter. Brown taps down. A quick kick out of the pack. Comes up towards Smart. Looks for a hand pass to Jarman, who fumbled. Chance for McGuinness. Centering kick from him. Filkey doing well at midfield. Will he find Hodges this time with the pass? He stabs it down towards centre half forward. Very, very short kick. Magpies will get out of danger. The ball picked up by Wright. He kicks towards centre wing position, and Big Manson takes the mark, goes to play on, and gets it in turn to Mullane.
Mullane forced to kick with the left foot up to the 50-metre line. Good mark and a finish taken by Paul Williams. Only 18 years of age, and what a future he has ahead of him here at Victoria Park. Kick off the ground by Russell. Goes close to the 10-metre square. Getting back for Adelaide is Tasker. His kick, not too bad either. Fortuitously for Adelaide, falls into the hands of Bickley. Bickley's kick to centre wing. The mark is taken by Marshall, and he'll have an interesting battle with Darren Mullane on this centre wing. Kick towards half forward, mark to Klug.
Push out. As well picked up by the umpire too.
Free kick goes to Kelly. Player on his own in the centre is Christian. He'll get the chance to play on. May get run down by Rowe. No, gets the hand pass away to McEwen. McEwen quickly. A wobbly kick to half forward. Oh, he's nearly taken another miraculous mark. This time it was Shane Morwood. But eventually it's held in by the Adelaide defence. And the umpire will call for a bounce. About 35 metres out from the Collingwood goal. Directly in front. Good crowd, sunny conditions. Pretty good for footy. On the... nearly in the start of July. Adelaide get clear through McGuinness. Wright can't mark the football. Getting back is Kelly. Handball over the top. That could have been deemed as deliberate. No. Throw it in, please, boundary umpire. Out there is Harding.
And what Collingwood are doing are running Christian on the ball. Manson takes the centre knockdown and then goes to centre half forward.
No one's getting out of that expeditiously. Kelly goes backwards. Shaw. Wright. Just off the edge of the centre square. Ball standing up into that pretty stiff westerly breeze. A marking contest there. None can take it. Smart taken high. Gets the hand pass away. Ball doesn't sit too kindly for Jarman, but he did tap it out wide. Unfortunately for him, it goes to Francis. Oh, not a good hand pass to Christian either. He really had to get that one off the bootlaces. But well played. Chance for the Magpies now. Picked up by Lehman. And Dacos again. Not as spectacular as before, but just as effective. Dacos chips it in short, and Lehman moving down well to take the mark. But the angle, I fear, Don Scott is worse.
Yes, that was good play by young Troy Lehman to get it across to Dacos. He could have gone long, but spotted him and then followed up. And Dacos repaid him.
Troy Lehman within kicking distance, but not the best of angles. 45 metres out. And we'll have to wait on the goal umpire. It's there. So Lehman gets his first and Collingwood's first, and the Magpies lead by 2 points. 1-2 to 1 goal.
Well, wearing number 15, the number worn by Wes Fellows, two fellows of different physiques. Fellows a great big fellow here, a former Copeland winner, trophy winner here at Collingwood, and Troy Lehman, his first year, only a skinny kid from Waikerie, but very impressive.
So the Magpies first, 17.5 minutes left in the quarter. Manson looks determined. Micken will take him on. Micken wins it, still can't get it clear of the circle though. Adelaide through Bickley. Short kick up towards the edge of the square. Klug, the target, gets taken out of it by Kerrison. Could have almost been penalised for holding the ball. Good block by McDermott. McGuinness off the ground ultimately. And Krasiska inside his defensive 50-metre line, kicks wide to the wing. Looking for Lehman. He might be able to take this punch on Kerrison. Back to Brown, and the Magpies are out of danger. Not a good kick.
Brown's kick into the wind has been marked by Manson. Big man put himself in front. 50-metre penalty. What was that for, Don?
Well, I thought that James Manson was about to play on. My instant reaction was he played on, but we'll see this. The umpire deemed obviously that he was tripped interfered with after taking the mark. That's why the 50-metre. Now, I thought Manson had the idea of playing on them, but he was tripped.
It's a bit harsh.
Well, certainly Smart's leg was thrown out.
It's an accident.
And the umpire has given the 50 metres, so Manson is well within scoring distance, even taking into account his awkward kicking style. He doesn't miss, though. It's straight through for Collingwood's second goal. Manson's first goal, Collingwood 2-2, Adelaide a goal.
Well, you'd have to say that was a pretty soft free kick. I don't think the intent was there to trip Manson. I suppose technically the umpire was correct, but let's take
have a
another
good look at
it.
this. If he doesn't throw his leg out...
Yeah, it puts his leg out.
Now watch this.
I doubt the intent.
Watch the leg.
But what was Manson's intention
That
too?
wasn't
He looked
intent.
like he was going to play on.
Pete.
Well, he's got the goal.
Well, that's true. It's on the board, so Adelaide really have to make up here because they're kicking with the aid of the wind. The kick is by Hart, and the mark has been taken by Christian. And what an integral part of this Collingwood team Christian is. He just seems to consolidate the defence and the big man area. The mark taken by Brown, off to Mullane. Mullane's left foot kick is pretty good into the breeze. Centre half forward, no mark taken. Scott Russell, good roving. Kicks to the square, the race is on. Who can get back first? Oh, good shepherding there by Tasker. Gives the defender the chance in Jamison to kick it wide, but what a good mark taken by Brown. Handballs away, Mullane coming into the play. Kick is marked by Dacos.
Off.
Dacos 50 metres from goal. Big ask, short pass, too high. Punch goes back towards Russell. Lee flips it over, but chipped off by Francis. Francis's kick, no mark to Morwood. Smart, Lehman, Russell will kick a goal.
Russell's first and Collingwood's third. But the Magpies doing it well. 3-2 to 1 goal.
Well, two former South Australians, only young players in this Collingwood team combining on that occasion. Lehman and Russell. There's Russell letting it go by in the first instance. Here's another South Australian. They're everywhere, aren't they? Tony Francis, Troy Lehman, and in turn, Scott Russell.
Three unanswered goals to Collingwood. Mickett and Manson again. Neither getting effective tap-outs from the centre circle. Jarman looking for a free kick. The umpire's not really interested. Good tackle applied by Francis as he dumps Bickley to the ground. Brown comes out with the ball, but it's going to be another bounce just wide of the circle this time.
Very heavy in there in the centre.
Heavy in the clinches. Donald. Well, Micken runs straight at Manson, but Manson got there first and got the tap-out. Chance for Marshall. Couldn't handle it. Now the Crows go forward. Ball booted up towards their full forward position. Attempt to mark by Hodges. He got one fingernail to it. That was about all. And Tony Shaw going in solidly with Jamieson, and it will be a ball up 15 metres out from goal.
Well, the beauty about that was that Scott Hodges really did leap for that mark, kept his eye on the ball, so that's starting to show that he's gaining in confidence, because only confident players do that type of thing.
Bounce, full forward for Adelaide. Christian taps down. Jamieson was looking for the free kick and could have almost got one there. Umpire says no, and it's going to be another bounce in the same position. 3-2 to 1 goal. Collingwood against the breeze. They've done it well so far in the opening term. Could have almost been a free kick for holding the ball against Klug. And so bounce number 3, and we haven't moved it more than 1.5 metres. McEwen the last to get up. Under 14 minutes left in this quarter. Christian and Klug. Oh, that's too high, yes. Against Mullane.
Oh, that was a little bit each way, I would have thought.
Adelaide making a move. Stephen Rowe will be going off for Adelaide. He'll be replaced by Eddie Hocking on that half-forward flank. Also, the umpire might be advised to throw the ball up. He didn't get the ball off the ground very high in that bounce down.
So he's only about 20 metres out from goal. Liptak would be a valuable one for the Crows if he can put it through. He kicks, and it looks pretty good from here. It's there. So Liptak getting his first and Adelaide second. Both teams have got a goal from a free kick. 3-2 to 2 goals.
Young Matthew Liptak, 3 goals last week. In actual fact, 3-1. He reads that ball very well off the hands of the pack. And the ball didn't get up very high on that occasion. And there's a free kick coming. A little doubtful. But then again, they all count, as Manson's did earlier.
Liptak's first and Adelaide's second goal. 13.5 minutes left in the first term. Right at Liptak doing battle off the ball. Manson sets himself for the bounce with also Micken. Honours about even so far. Manson get this one out clearly. Good tackle by Smart, forces Morwood to drop the ball. Scooped up towards Collingwood's half-forward. Good bump by Hocking, and again the ball spills free, but Collingwood through right. Clear the ball out to the edge of the centre square.
Well, Gavin Brown's hurt himself too after that severe bump. Kick there comes in by Tasker towards half-forward. No mark taken. Hodges. He is looking a lot better, Scott Hodges. Kicks the ball in towards full forward, goes past Jamieson, and Kelly gives away behind, which I suppose when you're kicking against the breeze is not such a bad move. And that is the first behind to the Adelaide Crows. 2-1 to 3-2. Collingwood by 7 points.
Now, Adelaide are ringing the Collingwood men. All the Collingwood men gathering at the centre half-forward position. Now they're being ringed by Crows.
McEwen's kick is a wobbly one, but good fortune there. The mark is taken by Lehman at centre half-back for the Magpies.
Playing well.
I wonder if his dad's watching from Waikerie.
Well, he got quite a few kicks in a game earlier in the season that I saw against Carlton on the half-back flank, and he just gathers them without anyone taking a real lot of notice. A free kick's been picked out of that. It's going to Scott Russell. Russell now kicking to the outer side, and a good mark in the finish taken by Filkey. He knew they were bearing down on him, but he went back and took the mark. Plays on. Kicks it quickly in the finish towards centre half forward. No mark taken. A big punch by Kelly. Now the race is on. Christian's in the box seat. A good smother by Marshall, but strong body work by Kelly. Russell. Krasiska's going to get caught. Good tackle, Eddie Hocking. Ball runs free to Tony Shaw. Balks for the hand pass and then kicks it with the left foot. A scrubber of a kick, but it's punched on by Collingwood to half forward. McGuinness gathers the awkward ball. Round onto the favoured left foot goes Tony McGuinness. Kicks it in the direction of Hocking. Tony Shaw just gets him out of the contest. The ball close to the boundary line. Tony Shaw goes back very quickly. At half-back, smothered by Marshall. Chance for Eddie Hocking. Over the top to Marshall. Surely advantage. Marshall's kick is disciplined to the front of the square. Marking contest. Hodges got his hands on it. Wasn't paid. Ball at centre half forward. Still in a winnable position. McEwen gets the sweeping hand pass to Christian. And Christian will clear for Collingwood.
Christian from the right half-back flank kicks to centre wing.
Well done, Brown.
Marking contest out there. Brown got the front position away from the big ruckman Micken, and the throw-in will take place on centre wing. And going back to that mark, very, very unlucky.
And that's a classical instance of backing into a pack, the way that Brown did it on Micken there. Every footballer can learn from Gavin Brown. He really did upset him by running hard back. It takes a lot of courage to do what Brown did on that occasion.
Francis puts the body in. He really was committed there, Tony Francis. It's a high tackle, and he gets the reward.
Play on the umpire. He's gone.
Klug tackles him, and he drops the ball. He wasn't watching the umpire or wasn't listening. Right. Oh, spins out, takes the ball with him, rode the bump well. Ball spills free against him. Strong tackling out there. That one came from Gafer. Krasiska, Francis. Kirison goes in solidly. And finally, Krasiska goes for the boundary line with the kick and gets there.
I'll tell you what, there was some good umpiring there. Don't you think, Don, it's a good idea to let the play flow like that?
Some heavy tackling though, isn't there? Quite amazing.
So boundary throw in with 10 minutes to go in the quarter. Ball knocked down by Klug, actually. Well, Francis out of bounds on the full. Shocking kick. And it will be taken by McDermott.
I give credit to McGuinness there. He put tremendous pressure on Francis and forced that.
It's interesting what Christian's doing. He's going down to the back pocket as a lonesome player for that throw-in. So I thought as a loose ruckman he should have contested that hit out, but then again he's obviously working to plan.
The skipper from 45 metres out. Goal umpire runs across. Might be out of bounds on the full, is it? Yes, it is. Didn't allow for the win, and the body language tells it all.
Now the runner going over to Christian might tell him to go over and contest those hit-outs.
McEwen from left back pocket. Awkward looking punt kick. Strong mark taken by Klug. He won't take that one off him. And with the breeze at his back, could be an interesting kick.
Just going to say the same thing if he gets onto this.
With the drop punt, it won't quite go as far as a torpedo. Micken was the one in the pack that had to take it, and Christian will put it over the line for a rush behind. And Robbo's already got two of those down. 3-2 to 2-2, 6 points the difference, and again McEwen to kick in with 9 minutes of the quarter remaining.
Yes, I think Collingwood will do well if they can restrict the Adelaide side to just another 2 goals, because they've kicked 3 themselves into this breeze, which has been excellent work. Tony Shaw's kick, look, it only goes about 30 metres, and nearly a mark there from behind to Brown, was it? High over the pack, kick out towards centre wing. Now the chance for Krasiska to knock it to the advantage of Brown. Brown, handball over the top. Russell, Krasiska, still they're in with a chance, the Magpies.
It's a free kick.
A free kick being picked out, going back to Krasiska, and the Collingwood fans not happy with that, because they certainly had the ball running for themselves. Krasiska now asked to play on. Kick towards centre wing. There's another good effort by Brown. This player's all over the field. Lehman.
He's being held.
Forward. Dacos nearly got it. Now the chance is there for Williams to get it to Christian. Christian's kick goes really straight up in the air, and Morwood marks. About 35 metres out. He's going to get a 50-metre penalty.
That's two goals from 50 metres. It'll be in the first quarter.
Boy, that ball went flight coming down on that forward line. Peter Dacos was being held by Scott Lee. Lee was behind, had his arm wrapped around Dacos, yet the umpire couldn't see it.
What did he get the 50 metres for then?
He said he was being held.
Joke. Oh, that's ridiculous. He fell over. Danny Hughes in there remonstrating.
Not doing much good.
No, it's going to be a goal, but isn't it a critical decision by the umpire?
So 2 goals from 50-metre penalties in the first quarter to Collingwood, and the scoreboard, the Magpies 4 goals on the board now. 4 goals 2, Adelaide 2 goals 2.
Well, it's a good start against the breeze Collingwood have got. Be interesting to see what they do with the breeze. Now here's the replay. Now look, there's the free kick to Dacos. But anyway, the umpire lets the game go on. Christian, maybe the wind caught it, but it was an inaccurate kick, but it held up. And here's the free kick.
7 3/4 minutes left in the term. 26 plays 14. Micken wins it. Klug tries for Filkey, who's been probably Adelaide's best midfielder so far. Out to Klug again. Couldn't take that one. Tackle applied by Russell. Smart. A real high kick to the edge of the square. Krasiska. Kelly. And that could be against Bickley in the back.
Great
I
decision.
thought it might have been in the back.
Great decision. He fell over with the football.
He'll take the free kick just short of the right half forward flank. Bickley. Centering kick.
Well, there's 50 metres,
50 metres.
at least the umpires are consistent.
So the kick will now be taken within kicking distance. Let's see where he's going to bring him about.
It's a good 50 metres.
I'll say it is. Francis will stand the mark. He's got the breeze behind him, so distance shouldn't be a problem this time. 50 metres being dished out with gay abandon.
All we have to do is work out whether it was the same umpire on the 3 occasions.
Well, there was a different umpire down the other end for Moorwood.
So a chance for a valuable goal to the Crows, kicking with the win. Oh, it's not going to make the distance. So not a very good kick. Hodges at the back. Can't regain his footing. And the ball rushed through for another behind. So a point to the Crows. 6.5 minutes left. 2-3 to 4-2. And they trail by 11 points.
Bickley and Francis are at it at centre-half forward. The umpire spotted them. And it's against Tony Francis.
On the edge of the square.
Yes, holding. So the ball's going back, and it'll be against Francis. Now,
Well, do you agree with these penalties?
No,
I mean,
well,
they are very severe, aren't they?
The
It's a
umpires,
certain goal.
yes, but the umpires at least are going to be consistent. They've obviously been told there is no more mucking around and holding behind play, and if they're consistent, fine.
It's a goal. So some controversial goals kicked in the opening quarter, and that was his second. 4-2 to 3-3.
Hey, Peter, he wouldn't want to keep doing this wherever he is because he'll never get off Victoria Park.
Well, it's a different umpire to the one that gave the 50-metre penalty earlier. But at least the rules are being set, and the umpire and the players are now got to adjust their game accordingly. So there's not allowed to be any holding whatsoever off the ball.
Well, that's the rule anyway. It's just a matter of applying it, Don, isn't it? So we go back to the centre. 6.25 minutes left in the term. 4-2 to 3-3.
So what happens at these centre breaks is that at centre half back breaks, a new ball coming in, is that players do hold, and the umpires are well aware of what's going on.
So we come back to the centre. Controversy abounding at Victoria Park. Again, neither ruckman getting it out of the square. McGuinness almost caught the ball, spills free. Francis applies the tackle, and we're going to see a ball up. Just off the edge of the centre circle.
The umpire there having a really good look at 5 or 6 players around that crunch. The ball had spilled out about 10 metres, and he wasn't too interested in getting the football. He was watching all the players, so spirit pretty high. Great punch by Manson. Tasker, tackle by Moorwood, ineffective. Handball by Maynard, who received from Tasker. Scott Lee, kick into the centre, Mark de Klug, who always looks quite damaging. Passes a beauty and finds Marshall 50 metres from goal. Tony Francis has got his bottom lip down a little bit.
That was a great build-up. Tasker getting it over to Lee, who ran really well to Klug, and Klug in turn to Marshall. Good play.
Marshall's kick, he gets some height, and the wind takes it all the way, but it's offline to the left, so a behind to the Crows. They're 3 goals 4. Collingwood are 4 goals 2. And we'll see at half-time just how important those 4 goals against the Breeze are for the Magpies. A good kick this time by McEwen. High leap from behind by Brown. Attempted gather by Jarman to Liptak to Filkey to full forward. And McEwen drops a sitter. Adelaide still a chance in the goal square, but they can't get out the back way. The little fellow Eddie Hocking striving very, very hard, but McEwen would be disappointed there dropping that chest mark. Right at the point of the square, the umpire bounces the ball. Jamison goes for it. Coming away with the football is Wright. Marshall marks over the top of Mullane. He's having the better of the duel there so far. Plays on. Wobbly kick. And Christian marks strongly. Plays on. Positive stuff, Michael Christian. Pass is good to Brown. Brown doing some good tough stuff. Short pass is all right. Dacos in front of his face. Scott Russell. Oh, he can't get past Marshall. Forced to kick quickly. And nearly the mark there to Moorwood. Taken away now by Hart. Marcus taken by Marshall. And he's doing very well on this near side wing, playing on Darren Mullane. Gives it to Hart, and Hart will kick Adelaide into centre half forward.
To left half forward flank marking contest. Mickett in front. Actually, there was no contest. He went up on his own and should have grabbed it. Shaw takes the hand pass. Flips it out the back to right. He's doing some good work across the half back line at the moment.
Oh, well done, Troy.
Great mark taken by Lehman.
Gee, he only had eyes for the ball. Well done.
Tremendous grab. He's got the play-on call now from the umpire. Lee and Dacos. One out duel. Dacos. Krasiska. Right on the boundary line. Kicks from a standing start. The two number 7s. Morwood gets the better of Smart. Now this kick will be interesting because that part of the ground is sheltered from the strong westerly breeze. He doesn't give us a chance to read it because he's gone short to Russell, who should have marked that. Didn't. It's out of bounds. So boundary throw in Collingwood's left forward pocket. Chance for a couple more scores. We've got 3 1/4 minutes remaining in the term. Mick and High. Russell, snapshot. Gee, that's pretty close. One behind. Good effort. He kicked that very quickly. So 4-3 to 3-4, a difference of 5 points.
Played well, Scott Russell. 6 kicks and 3 hand passes, Peter.
He's done well so far. Lee, out of defence, shocking kick straight to Christian, who's been very busy so far. Low trajectory pass, that's not a good one. Maynard gives it in turn over to Jarman, and Jarman kicks long. Oh, great mark, a one-hander. He's been watching Peter Dacos, Craig Kelly. But a shocking kick. So conditions out there, I would say, pretty difficult at the moment. Or high tackle, low tackle applied by Jarman. Finally, it's Lehman. Brown could have got a free kick. The umpire says no. Good mark, Krasiska. Still inside the centre square. And good mark. Taken down there by Richardson.
Yes, a good lead by the youngster. He's getting away from
his boot, I think, Don.
Is that the right boot?
He's going to have to put it on anyway.
Looks like it's his left, so that's fair enough because he wouldn't really get any purchase when he let that ball go because he's a right foot kick.
So Mark Richardson, a chance to bring up Collingwood's 5th goal.
It's a good pass and a good lead here. There, well done.
And the famous footballing family here at Victoria Park. Wayne Richardson and Max Richardson, of course, carried the colours to great distinction. Mark is Wayne's son. And of course, no relation to the other Richardson in the Collingwood lineup. That's Allen, isn't it? Kicks from about 48 metres out and gets it. So the goals have been shared by Collingwood players so far. Manson, Russell, Lehman, Morwood, and now Mark Richardson. 5-3 to 3-4.
Well, he had huge raps on as a youngster. Young Mark Richardson served his apprenticeship at Collingwood, coming up through the under-9s reserves, and now starting to fulfil that potential. 7-4 last week.
1.5 minutes left, and 11 points the difference. Manson taps down. Maynard almost caught with the ball to Marshall.
So was Marshall. Some very fierce tackling. Francis spills it, but he's able to recover. And then kick with the right foot, not bad. Dacos marks just wide of the centre. Spots a player on the wing, it's Mullane. Will he be able to get around? He's got 2 players to beat. Then the hand pass over the top. Brown forced to kick quickly. Up towards full forward, no mark taken. Ball rebounds to Hart. Under pressure, he goes back. Maynard, short kick across the face of goal. Filkey, got a bit of time now to steady and have a look upfield. No one to kick it to. So he kicks it wide out towards the boundary line where Wright has made good position. Slips over, still has possession. Handball over the top. Chance for Lehman. Taps it to his own advantage. In goes Bickley. Sweeping hand pass. Gives McGuinness the opportunity. Good hand pass. Klug spots McDermott. Waits for it. Then gives the hand pass back to Filkey. Filkey's long hand pass. Klug, what can he do? Gathers it. Slips out of his hands. Still got the football. And eventually Collingwood, just through sheer persistence, gather the football, and Christian will clear with a hand pass to Francis. Francis, left foot kick. Centre wing, no mark taken. Free kick certainly to Collingwood, to be taken out there by Krasiska. Plays on, transfers playing towards the centre where Kerrison marks. Kick towards centre half forward. Morwood, good use of the body in front, takes the mark. Will he play on? Yes. Short kick. Siren sounds a mark for Collingwood.
No,
it's not. Well, James Manson thought it may have been, but quarter time, Collingwood lead by 11 points. The Magpies 5-3, Adelaide at 3-4.
at Victoria Park. 11 points the difference in favour of the Magpies as we begin the second term. 5-3 to 3-4, and this quarter Collingwood going with the assistance of the strong breeze. Out of the centre, Jarman kicks to half forward. Hocking couldn't take the grab from that low trajectory kick. A new ball being used incidentally at the start of the quarter. Filkey, who received the boos of quite a lot of the crowd in the opening term. Jarman takes the hand pass and kicks from a standing start. Nest of Magpies up there. There is a whistle. And the umpire has paid. Is he the advantage rule? No, it's going back.
Mark to Kelly.
In which case there can be no advantage rule.
It's a free kick to Christian.
Christian, very good player in the first quarter for Collingwood. Kicks to the centre wing position. And finally Francis to left half forward. Lee, looping hand pass to Marshall. And good pressure applied down there as it goes out of bounds on the full, but Marshall got the better of Mullane in the opening term. Mullane has the free kick here though as he tries to get around Grantley Filkey, and does. A high kick to half forward.
Free kick to Micken.
Could have got a free kick, I would have thought. There was a high tackle. McDermott kicks up towards centre field, and the mark for Collingwood taken by Wright. Again a high kick. Letting the wind do the work. Knock away by Richardson. Lee was held behind the play. Russell, very busy player in the first quarter for Collingwood. Centering kick. In fact, the wind does the job on that one. It was just touched right on the line by Jarman. A very, very close thing. The Magpies get the first score in the second quarter to increase their lead to 12 points.
Good save also by Jarman. Should compliment him.
Terrific effort to get back there. The kick in. Gee, Collingwood outnumber the Crows out there. Morwood goes to Kerrison. Kerrison's kick to the front of the goals. No mark taken, but Danny Hughes will clear for Adelaide. The wind just gets hold of the football and holds it up a little bit. Filkey's got it and takes it over. And the umpire allows the boundary umpire to throw it in. Maybe Grant Filkey not trying very hard to keep it in play. Manson's tap out, collected by McDermott. McDermott's kick is high. Again holds up, going into the breeze. Kelly, a little bit stronger there in the marking contest than Klug. In goes Bickley, but the kick off the ground by Francis. Gathered by Christian, good tackle McDermott. Oh, that was a little throw, a lovely little one. Jarman's kick to centre half forward, but just holding up again. Krasiska marks at centre half back.
Jemison's being held by Gaffer and going for that mark there. He was restricted, although the mark was played to Krasiska.
Krasiska's kick to half forward. Chance here for Morwood. Gathers it all right. Hand pass back to Francis. Francis's kick short into the pocket. And Richardson marks. Danny Hughes, gee, that was crude.
Danny.
50-metre penalty.
Lucky it's just 50. Could have been a reportable incident. You see this and cop that, sweet Harry.
Well, I'll hear more about that one.
Well, the umpire would have reported him. He saw it and he's paid the penalty, so he said it didn't warrant a report.
And this will be the third goal for Collingwood from 50-metre penalties. Mark Richardson gets his second goal. Collingwood get their sixth. 6-4 plays 3-4.
Well, Danny Hughes has got that characteristic. If he is beaten, he'll usually let the player know that he has been beaten. Usually he's a little more subtle than he was there. He was rather crude on that occasion, and very, very lucky.
When have you ever seen him to be subtle?
Well, he might just drop a knee or something, but that time it wasn't very subtle.
40 plays 22 in favour of Collingwood. Manson out of the centre again. McGuinness, he'll get onto that trusty left foot. What a great kick though, distance-wise, up towards Scott Russell to Mullane. Tasker.
Good
yes,
mark. He's
mark.
impressive, Tasker.
Impressive. He's tried to play on.
Play on it
yes,
is.
He has. Marshall doing a great job at his wing. One of the best battles of the day, he and Darren Mullane. All Collingwood. And a fine mark to Craig Kelly. Mullane. Centering kick. Morwood and Smart. Smart this time with a big fist away. Knocks the ball into the forward pocket. Tasker and Williams. Lee. Looks for Marshall. Ball doesn't sit too kindly for him. Marshall did keep the ball in play. McDermott. Marshall. Right on the boundary line. Not too many options open for him there. Gets the ball up towards Liptak, one of Adelaide's goal kickers, and it will be thrown into play.
What the Crows have got to do is get in front, because that ball is going to drop. It might sound ridiculous and might feel ridiculous putting yourself in front of your opponent, but the ball will drop and you will be rewarded.
Mullane and Marshall. Mullane this time winning out. That's a great battle, as I mentioned. Keeps the ball in play. Dacos. Oh, gee, let me put that out of bounds on the full. Now he tries to keep it in play. Down goes Francis. The two number twos tangle. Might have been a little bit high. Lee gets offloaded as he kicks.
See, there's Hull being held on that occasion. You can see Kelly the arm around Klug.
Klug had the mark anyway, I think, Don.
Yeah, but he's still...
Interesting. So Klug from left half-back flank, and the kick really standing up into the breeze again.
And Collingwood are a real wake-up to it, because they've got players in the front of the packs on every occasion. Brown to right to centre-half forward, nearly a mark back there to Lee. Helping out is the ruckman Micken. Collingwood forwards working overtime. Chance for Russell. Russell's kick to the goal front. At the back, Richardson, great use of the body, gets his third. Tell you what, he's a promising young player as Mark Richardson, only 18 years of age. And another one of the youngsters, Troy Lehman at 19 and Paul Williams at 18. What a future Collingwood have got.
Well, what he did here was use his body well. Hughes up in the air, and it didn't require too much to put Hughes off balance, because Hughes would definitely be stronger in the body. But when Hughes was off the ground, he had no purchase naturally, and he was well put off.
So 19 and a half minutes left in the second term. Collingwood go forward once again through Lehman. Trying to get back there desperately was Bickley. Dispossessed by Francis. Francis a little too severe. It's out on the full, I would think, against Tony Francis. And the free kick to be taken back there by Scott Lee for the Crows. Short pass, not bad. Bickley marks outside the 50-metre area. Kicks it towards centre wing. Kelly in good position. Morwood gathers. The ball is smothered over the boundary line, as is Shane Morwood. But his temperament is terrific, Shane Morwood. And he takes no notice of that rubbish. Let's get after the pigskin.
I thought it was leather, Ian. Doesn't matter. Brown. Francis. Or Russell, rather. Oh, gee, just landed inside the boundary line. So another throw-in. 65 metres out from goal. Collingwood doing all the attacking in the second quarter. Manson and Micken, won by Micken. There's a push in the back. Going Adelaide's way will be taken by Filkey. He's not the most popular player here in Victoria Park. Fans must have long memories. He hasn't done anything to warrant their displeasure today. Fisted away by two Collingwood defenders. And finally picked up for the Crows down there by Hocking. Krasiska, a big punch away. Gets the ball towards the boundary line. Shaw puts the body in. Hocking was taken high, nothing for it. Hart, centering kick out in front of goal. Mullane, fine mark. Right. Plenty of space out there. We need some runners. McEwen, as the rain starts to fall. Ron McEwen showing a good turn of speed. Mammoth kick into the forward pocket. And this time Hughes does get fist on ball, and it's out of bounds.
Very powerful footballer is Ron McEwen, exceptionally quick over the first couple of yards, and also when he is in a run, he hasn't got much endurance, but he's certainly got anaerobic power.
McDermott. Filkey, or fumbles, as I said, it's starting to rain. Williams slaps the ball forward. Dacos, he'll look for someone going past. That someone is Tony Francis, who turns on a threepenny bit, goes backwards. Excellent pass, spotted a player there in Williams, and he didn't let him down. And Williams again going short. Gavin Brown takes the mark. Now he should have the wind right at his back.
Very mature player is young Paul Williams from Tasmania. Got a lot of aggression. Shows a lot of composure in pressure situations. It's good to see Shane Kerrison go across and congratulate him on that bit of work.
Gavin Brown from 45 metres. Distance shouldn't be a problem. And the goal umpire says it's a goal. So Collingwood putting a pretty big wedge between themselves and Adelaide now, 8-5 to 3-4.
I hope we get a shot of this of Gavin Brown kicking the football, because he's something he really has worked on is his goal kicking. Watch the way he keeps his head over the ball, head down, and it stays down as the ball leaves the boot. And he really does emphasise keeping the eye on the ball.
Micken got the tap out and eventually got his right foot to the ball, but it's been marked by Graham Wright for Collingwood. So Collingwood doing pretty well in this second term so far. We've kicked 3 goals. We've still got 16 minutes left. Christian has the football in the centre. 13th possession. Oh, he's put his teammate Shaw under enormous pressure. But fortunately for Tony Shaw, the free kick is given to the captain for in the back. Right in the centre of Victoria Park, indicating to kick to this near side. Really goes straight down the ground. Marking contest, no one can get hold of it. And Lee kicks it wide to half back on this member's side. Gather Lehman, Mullane, hard up against the boundary line. Short pass, oh, a little fierce for Russell. Right in the pocket, oh, good, nearly a good bit of work there by young Richardson to try and flip it back to Russell. But the Adelaide Crows keep it in. And we'll have a boundary thrown in that left forward pocket for the Magpies. Ruck work, Micken gets it down. Oh, mess up there, Maynard. McDermott clears to that outer side. Marshall has the football a long way away from Mullane. They've had a few possessions, each one of them, and both of them have been good players for their respective teams. And Liptak can't control it, and it goes over for a boundary throw-in.
Good battle between he and Graham Wright. Matthew Liptak, Graham Wright. Wright playing half back, and naturally Matthew Liptak half forward. But being outstrengthed at the moment, Liptak by Wright.
And Marshall 11 possessions, Mullane 12, out there on that outer wing. Klug, sweeping hand pass. Krasiska strong. Handball is okay. Brown unselfishly to Christian. In turn, Russell may nearly kick it. Scott Russell. No, slips. Kick towards full forward. Mark to Hughes. Handball away to Maynard. And the Crows are out of trouble. Maynard's kicking towards the centre. And a good mark taken by Jarman. Did he drop it? He thought so. Played on quickly. Russell. Will it sit? Yes. Brown. 50 metres out. Sets it up with a breeze. It may go all the way. It does. What a great goal. Gavin Brown gets his second goal. And Collingwood kick their ninth. 9-5 to 3-4.
Well, he had the aid of that strong breeze. It really hasn't dropped at all, the breeze here at Collingwood. It's blowing straight down the ground behind Brown's back. Russell, not a good hand pass. He had to wait and pick it up. But then found himself in plenty of space, ran to the 50-metre line and let it go from about 52 metres out, Gavin Brown.
17 possessions to Gavin Brown, 10 hand passes and 7 kicks, and with his last 2 kicks he's kicked 2 goals. Out of the centre, Bickley.
Oh, good mark.
Half forward for the Adelaide Crows.
McIntyre.
Just come onto the ground and he replaced Jamison. Hodges on a lead. McEwen right behind him. Hart has it socket away from him. McEwen, who went for that 40-metre run before and did well. And a couple of options there. Kerrison flips it over the top. Krasiska from that standing start position. Maynard. Have to be quick. McDermott, finally from Jarman. Klug, almost the mark. Umpire won't play that. They need something up forward, the Adelaide Crows, and they need it to happen pretty quickly. Christian. Brown. Went for the knock-on. He might get it back again, Gavin Brown. Excellent hand pass to Lehman. Back it comes to Francis. And Collingwood making excellent use of the football. Russell at half forward. Maynard being brought back on the mark. He went for distance with the kick. Awkward looking punt. This could be another goal if it sits up for Manson.
Oh, he can't pick it up.
Like a piece of soap. He goes for the hand pass. Dacos loves these. Snaps and gets it. Peter Dacos' first goal. 10-5 to 3-4.
Well, he's not bad, is he? Number 35.
Love the way Don when he gets the ball. We'll see it here, the way he positions it perfectly for the snapshot of goal. Watch his hand movement.
Well, he hasn't had the best of seasons, Dacos, but look at that for a kick. Oh, well done. Good effort by Manson to follow up. He really did make a mess of it initially, but got it across to Dacos. And his first.
Under 13 minutes left in the quarter, 10-5 to 3-4. The first goal kicked by Peter Dacos, and what a gem it was. Filkey smothers Shaw's kick and gets the hand pass back again to put Adelaide into attack up towards half forward. Kerrison goes the spoil and does it well. Gafer puts the body in. Tackle applied by McIntyre. Shaw takes the hand pass again, gives it back to Krasiska in front of Hart. And that long kick will take it over the boundary line on the full. And that will be a free kick to Adelaide at the left half-back flank. They're better than they need something, Robbo, quickly.
Yes, they really need to lift across that half-forward line, I feel. They're getting absolutely nothing in this second term. Here's Collingwood again. Manson, he's going to kick it himself. Into the goal square. Richardson can't mark. Chance now for Lee, under pressure. But he gets the kick away, and it's not bad. Filkey marks. And
they've got long memories, haven't they, these Collingwood supporters?
Well, he's not doing too bad, actually, Filkey. 7-4. But if his opponent is Troy Lehman, he's doing equally, if not better. Gafer takes it over the boundary line. Troy Lehman with 9 kicks and 3 hand passes. And they look as though they're playing on this near side wing. Francis, lovely hand pass. Gafer, centre half forward. No mark. Look at Dacos. Hughes in front. Can't mark. Oh, here's a chance. Richardson will kick another one. Check side kick for another one.
4 goals to Richardson. He's having a great second quarter, 11-5 to 3-4. Costley missed that mark, Don.
Well, it was, but then again, the ball was a little unfair to Hughes. He positioned himself right in front of Richardson, and somehow it just went past him. A cruel bounce. It was a good kick by the youngster to follow up.
Four goals kicked by Mark Richardson, and we've still got 11 minutes to go before half-time. Manson charging at it like a bull. Kerrison on the bottom of the pack. And it will be another ball up. And the 11 points the difference at half-time. Collingwood has certainly gone ahead since then. Rucks go at it. 2 Adelaide players, Filkey and Jarman, dive on top of it before McGuinness comes out with the ball. Krasiska sockers the ball forward for Francis. The Collingwood small players are cutting their opponents to bits. Smart and Moore would do battle. Sockered away by Williams. Hughes, it just won't sit for him. The hurried hand pass is finally taken away by Lee at the right half-back flank. Filkey will apply a shepherd, a pretty vigorous one at that, at Peter Dacos. And the mark on centre wing, taken by Klug, one of their best players so far. McDermott, Mullane, Morwood, past Klug, Russell, Lehman at left centre wing, goes for the short pass, and it's a shocker. Good mark taken by Filkey.
Hurt himself, Lehman, is he?
No, he's up.
Filkey's kick towards the centre circle. Best duels of the day, Marshall and Mullane. Marshall this time. Francis goes wide to the wing. Oh, it bounces a couple of centimetres inside the line, and we'll see a throw in. So a scoreboard showing the Magpies 11-5, Adelaide 3-4. In fact, they haven't scored, Ian, so far in this quarter.
No, it's been a miserable performance by Adelaide so far in this second term. Scott Russell tries to get the ball clear for Collingwood. Filkey, Marshall, and eventually the kick by Tasker. Not bad either towards centre half forward. Bounce favours Eddie Hockey. What can he do with it? He's bounced off the football. Now the opportunity is there for Liptak. Kick towards full forward. Waiting for it, Klug. You can't do that. Kelly, determined. Francis, not bad either by Tony Francis. Will it sit here for Russell? Yes. A smart little kick, and Kerrison marks a beauty on centre wing.
Kerrison's got the job on tagging Tony McGuinness and doing it particularly well.
Kerrison's kick to centre half forward. No one home for Collingwood. Maynard marks quite safely and kicks it quickly. 50 metres against Dacos. So that will bring Maynard up over the centre. But really it's stop-start football by the Adelaide Crows in the second term. They're breaking down across that half-forward line. Now Maynard kicks it high, inside 50 metres. Good mark.
Well done.
Good effort by Hodges.
He's playing with a lot more confidence. McEwen had his back to play there. He was watching Hodges, and that's a compliment to him to have your actual back to play. Look, there he is, back to play, McEwen. Look at the way he's attacking that ball. That's good stuff.
And a good effort in the finish by the full forward. He's kicked 2 of the 3. And he has now kicked... That's a goal, I think. No, it's not.
When they cheer Ian down that end, it's a point or it's missed altogether.
You think they're all Collingwood supporters down beyond the goal?
Oh, it's the worst area down there, I can tell you.
7 3/4 minutes left, and that's their first score for the second term.
And Ron McEwen to kick in. Good to see him back playing again in the black and white jumper after he missed quite a few games for personal reasons mid-season. They can certainly do with him up there, and he's playing well. McGuinness to the outer side. Brown doesn't get the favourable bounce. Hart taps it on to Marshall in front of Russell. He might come back to McGuinness. He does. Now where's Hodges? Maybe they can get something out of this anyway. Klug turns around, stabs at goal and misses completely. He's put it out of bounds.
He could use his left foot on that occasion, Klug, because he has got one that he uses quite regularly and efficiently, and then spun right around on the right, and it's gone everywhere.
McIntyre. McEwen. Over the top is Micken. Couldn't take the mark. Left to Lehman. Keep going pretty close to the boundary line again. They're getting some luck that way, Collingwood.
They beat 1 on 3 then, and Lehman came out on top.
Well done.
So under 7 minutes left in the half. It's been a particularly good quarter for Collingwood as Mansett and Micken set themselves for the boundary throw-in. Collingwood with the wind in this quarter, and they've certainly made the most of it, whereas the Crows in the first quarter couldn't handle it at all. Socked away off the ground by Lehman towards left half forward flank. Again, it's over the boundary line for another throw-in.
And if 17 of his mates showed as much determination as Tasker did there, they'd probably have a couple of goals on the scoreboard.
Micken. Hocking. Bad hand pass to Tony Shaw. And the Collingwood captain kicks up towards the 50-metre line. A marking contest. Smart couldn't take it. The ball hustled out the back of the pack. Williams picks it up brilliantly. Gives it over to Christian. It could be another goal. Mullane from 35 metres out has kicked only a behind.
Dacos in the square on his own, screaming out for it too.
Don't think he saw him. 11-6 to 3-5. So that's 6 goals, 3 this quarter to only 1 behind. We've got 6 minutes left before half-time.
And that football probably finished up in the Country Road warehouse at the back of those goals, I'd say.
Too close to it. We might have another new ball. There is another ball coming out. I don't think it's a new one.
It's about the 4th new ball this game.
Yep.
We've lost a couple and they're changing it each quarter.
So Danny Hughes kicks in under 6 minutes left in the half.
Oh, he's being held, Micken, by Christian.
McGuinness and Francis both over the boundary line. So too is the ball, and it will be another throw-in.
I suppose what the players do well is they know where the umpire is. They can wrap that hand that the umpire can't see around the opponent, then punch the ball away.
Just a quick look at the Collingwood bench there. Jamie Turner, one of the interchange players with Craig Starcevich. And they don't look overly concerned. Dougie Barwick there, who played in the earlier game.
Got reported.
And the result there was a win for St Kilda in the seconds by something like about 3 goals. But here at half forward for Collingwood, we're going to have another bounce. 72 plays 23. 5 minutes left in the second term.
Yeah, the umpire didn't get the ball up at all in this position when he bounced it earlier. He got it a bit better that time.
Not coming very far though, Don. Russell had his kick smothered. Jarman will come away from the football for the Crows at right half back, and that's a good kick against the breeze. Marking contest out there on centre wing. McIntyre went for the knock on. That was effective. Jarman again takes the hand pass. Filkey came from Liptak. And again, Collingwood players positioning themselves in front. McIntyre was the only Crow to go up for it. Ball hustled out the back of the pack again. Hart putting the body in well. Christian tries to barge his way through. and did well. Spirals the punt kick up towards half forward, and Maynard takes the mark. Onto Smart. Smart kicks from the edge of the square. Marshall at the back is Liptak again, and also Hart. Hart looking for someone going past. There was no one. No, not good play. Liptak.
Where's he going with that?
Marshall.
Good play.
There's a free kick going Collingwood's way, though. It's going to be taken by Darren Mullane, it would appear. And Collingwood will get out of it again. Russell. Right. And they're toying with them at the moment. Krasiska. Krasiska kicking towards half forward. Oh, Brown went through like a steam train. Lehman paddles the ball forward. McIntyre kicks up to Klug, certainly the most effective forward, and a good centering kick, and that was excellently done.
Quickly, he's got Liptak on the square.
Oh, they turned their back, Don.
Hart a little bit slow.
Oh, is he too slow? I mean, he had Hodges by himself. McEwen was in two minds. Well, he's got to kick it. Well, he's got to kick it now, doesn't he? He had two options he could have spotted.
He's gone short. Oh, intended for Jarman. Didn't come off.
So that was bad play.
Bickley. Back to Hocking. Kick taken by Hart this time. Won't quite make the distance. Plenty of Collingwood players down there. No mark paid. And they'll clear it again. Scott Russell and or McEwen, and they run it out at the fence. There's a fight behind play. And those same two Magpies are now up near the centre wing position.
Scott Russell kicks it over that position to half forward. The mark has been taken by Maynard. Doing a reasonable job for the Adelaide Crows across half back. Kicks it in towards the centre. Micken has marked.
And that fight's still going on, but it's 3 each.
Pass out wide to Hart. Don't really make a concerted enough effort to move it quickly into the breeze. Hart's kick into the pocket. Too deep there for Hodges. And we'll have a boundary throw in that left forward pocket area for the Adelaide Crows. Well, their efforts have only been able to gather one behind in this second term. Collingwood have kicked 6 goals, 3. And now they lead very comfortably. Kick off the ground, goes into the opposite forward pocket. Hodges leads in the race, falls over, tries to flip it out, successfully to Klug. Hand pass, goes back towards McDermott. Falls over. Francis over the top, may get a free kick. Yes, he does.
I thought McDermott might have got an earlier one on Francis. Francis went over the top of him. Admittedly, he tripped accidentally, but still.
Well, the definition of the rule is if you fall over in your endeavours or dive on it in your endeavours to collect the football, you'll be penalised when the player tackles you. Kick goes wide to Christian. Collingwood mounts something here. Hand pass a little too severe for Krasiska, but he's able to flip it over the back. Gafer, still got a teammate, Kerrison. Krasiska's run down and made position to collect the handball. The kick in towards full forward. Richardson overruns it. Danny Hughes at the back. Comes straight across the ground. It may be unsuccessful. Lehman's still a chance. Shrugs the tackle.
Well,
still can't get clear. Opportunity for Williams now. Hemmed in on the boundary line. Lovely hand pass. Brown. Can he get another one? Gavin Brown. No, high kick into the square. And no mark. It goes through for one behind to Collingwood. So under a minute left now in the second quarter.
And Daryl Hart.
11-7 to 3-5.
Daryl Hart off Stephen Rowan. I agree with that move, actually. Was Hart just a little slow today.
Micken takes the kick. Mullane and McDermott. And it's going to be a bounce as the clock ticks down to half-time. Not a good quarter for the Crows. It took Hawthorn 36 years to win here at Victoria Park. It might take the Crows just as long on their efforts in this quarter.
Well, that's a bit severe, Pete, isn't it? 36 years.
Very hard to win here, Ian.
It's only their first year in the comp, though.
Marshall. Very hard to get the points here. You know that. No, I'll admire the Crows' efforts so far this year, but I don't think Graham Corns will be too happy with their efforts in that quarter. As the siren goes to end the first half, and the Magpies kicking 6 goals, 4 in that quarter to only 1 behind. And I suppose if you'd have to say the scoreline is not in Adelaide's favour, but they didn't make enough use of the win in the first term, did they?
Well, I think, Peter, if you look at the stats, Collingwood have had 30 more kicks, 20 more handballs and 9 more marks. So Really, I think the statistics are a very, very good indication. Collingwood have had much more of the football and accordingly lead very, very comfortably by 50 points at half-time.
Alan, welcome to the coverage. The game so far, you must be more than pleased.
Well, we're happy to be in front, Max, but it's a very, very hard game, and I think the Crows are putting up a good performance, trying very hard, and it's not over yet by any means.
A couple of questions for you, for the Adelaide viewers in particular. Are you still against interstate sides being part of the competition?
Well, no, I'm not against them now. I would have preferred it to have been the way it was, but now that it is a national competition, you forget about the past and you get on with it. And I think that I'd say absolutely that Adelaide are very welcome if it's going to be a national competition.
Not necessarily my opinion, but we read a lot about Alan McAllister in the papers in South Australia. We get the sort of feeling your profile's very, very high. Is that good for Collingwood?
Well, if you're president of Collingwood, you're going to have a high profile. It's not me, it's Collingwood that gets the profile, and you know, you can either do things to lead Collingwood or not. And I think the position with such a big club as Collingwood is to lead from the front, and that's what I do.
Is Collingwood the be-all and end-all in Aussie rules?
To me it is, yes. It is, absolutely.
OK, looking at the situation in Victoria, do you believe there should be less teams?
No, I believe that no team should be asked to leave the competition. A lot of them were foundation teams, and I believe they have a right to be there. And the one thing to complete the issue, I would hope that Tasmania one day would join. Then you've got 16 teams and you've got no buys, and I think the buys are a bit of a difficulty, actually.
OK, as far as finals go, the West Coast Eagles are going to have a final in Perth. What's your opinion now, looking back on what you have said over the last couple of months?
Absolutely against it, totally. Football, the VFL football's home is in Victoria, and everybody should come to Victoria to play the finals, and I'm absolutely adamant in that.
Adelaide Crows, their first year, it's definitely an experimental year. I mean, a big opportunity to come here at Victoria Park. Well, what do you think of their first year showing?
I think they've done remarkably well. I think they can be very proud with what they've done. They're ahead of Collingwood on the ladder, and I think they've performed extremely well, better than I thought they would have done.
OK, Alan, thanks for your time, and I'm sure you'd be really happy with the crowd today.
Yes.
Well behaved.
Thank you, Max.
Thanks, Alan McAllister.
Second half at Victoria Park, 50 points the difference in favour of Collingwood after they kicked 6-4 to 1 behind in the second term. So the Crows with the job ahead of them in the third quarter if they're to get back into this match. Filkey dispossessed, Lehman, Francis with Smart, Brown, a short kick out to the edge of the square, and it finds Graham Wright. Wright's kick to the half-forward line, a marking contest. Micken in front, Manson over the top, Dacos starting the third term as he did the first. Francis, and gets it. And that's just what the Crows did not want at the start of the third quarter. Tony Francis's first goal and Collingwood's 12th, 12-7 to 3-5.
Well, it's good to see Francis doing a lot of work up the ground and then also running in and rewarding his hard work further up the field. Here he is, the former Norwood Rover. He kicked 6 points last week, didn't get on the scoreboard as far as a major is concerned, but he's certainly altered that. Today he's kicked the one solitary goal, no points.
So a very quick start by Collingwood. Francis's first goal, 79, players 23.
And more importantly, Peter, it's the 6th goal that Collingwood have been able to kick into the breeze. And again, they shared the ball around on centre wing here. Mullane, the kick across his left shoulder's not too bad. Morwood punches from behind. McDermott gathers. Sweeping hand pass, finds Andrew Jarman. He tries to kick it long. McEwen out in front, Hodges from behind. Graham Wright just kicks it in front of himself and goes after it once again. A tap close to the boundary line, helped out by the captain. Always seems to be able to get out of some tight spots, Tony Shaw. Francis's kick, under pressure from McIntyre, is out of bounds on the full. The free kick to be taken by Maynard. Maynard quickly, McDermott, turn around quickly. He does, and sees that there's no one really on his mark. Kelly nearly took a one-hander. Ball at the back, Klug, a little slow, dispossessed. Brown, McEwen, again Tony Shaw. Gee, just some terrific work across half-back. Kick in towards the centre, punched away from Morwood. Play on now, much to the disgust of the Collingwood supporters. Andrew Jarman's kick has been marked by Klug wide at half-forward. plays on quickly. Ordinary kick, floats, and is marked by Liptak. Liptak, who is one of the only 2 people to kick goals for the Crows. Hodges has kicked 2, and this man kicked his only goal in the first quarter. They haven't kicked a goal since the 25-minute mark of the first term. And that is their 4th goal.
So Liptak gets his second. Hodges has 2, as Ian mentioned, and 4-5. Now plays 12-7.
I was getting a bit of a football lesson today, Matthew Liptak. He was in front on that occasion, which is good on Graham Wright. But Wright has just used strength on Liptak in running for the ball, and with that strength he's able to get across the ground too. And Liptak will realise, if he looks at his game, that maybe he's got to lift a lot of weights over the summer to build himself up. So he's able to compete.
1 goal each kicked in the 3rd quarter. Once again, the difference is 50 points, as therefore it was at half-time. Brown doing some good work at midfield. Tries to get it to half-forward. Francis runs into Williams, who does some good shepherding for Manson. Marshall. Lee. Spiral punt kick to the edge of the square. Tony Shaw takes the dive and takes the free kick as well.
Well summed up.
Very experienced campaigner. Here's the Magpie skipper. He's usually at the bottom of every pack. And Manson playing in front. Gavin Brown. Looks for Richardson, who leads out. Didn't quite get there. And the mark taken by Lee over Dacos. Scott Lee just up from the back pocket. Bright sunshine now at Victoria Park. Manson again in front. Klug late on the scene. Marshall, ineffective hand pass. The ball punched further forward and again picked up by Tony Shaw. Shaw's kick out to Lehman. Out the back of the pack, just about thrown. Francis from Bickley. Smart taps the ball forward. Down goes Tasker, picked up by Smart. Christian looks for the hand pass. The big fellows combine well. Manson, with that unmistakable kicking style, drills it for a goal. Manson gets his second, Collingwood second for the quarter, and their 13th overall. 13-7 to 4-5.
Well, maybe just looking at that windsock as Manson kicked, and even looking at it now, the wind is not as strong as what it was in the first half. But through use of handball, Manson playing at centre-half forward, doing all the ruck work or the bounce downs in the centre square, then shifted to centre-half forwards, kicked his second goal. That was a good goal, and well done by Christian.
Collingwood 85, lead Adelaide 29 early in the 3rd term. And again, Collingwood able to kick goals to that right-hand end. Filkey's kick is smothered. In goes Micken. Francis is desperate in this 3rd term.
Now,
kick to half forward.
That is wrong,
Dacos
umpire.
being held,
yes,
and
well
he's
done.
paid it.
Well done.
Well, you've been on it for a long time, Don, and eventually they've given it to the player in front. Dacos kicked the foot forward. Richardson, that nearly was a mark. Hughes has got hold of him. He's got the football under there somewhere.
That's what Hughes is good at. Although Richardson just about to have the hands on.
Actually, I don't think it was Hughes. It might have been Maynard that had hold of him, was it?
No, it was Scott Lee on Dacos.
No, just then the Richardson one. Now the ball comes out from half back by Lee. In towards the centre. Kelly can't mark, but strength. Gets underneath or over the top of the football. The umpire still calls play on. And eventually he will now bounce the ball on the edge of the square. So Collingwood, they've kicked 2 goals against the Breeze. Adelaide have kicked 1 with it. Ball goes wide. Chance for Lehman. Can't really do anything constructive with the football. Maynard, McDermott, under pressure. Lehman. The pressure from Collingwood's good. Russell and Francis combine. Francis is kicked wide. Pretty good. Richardson marks about 30 metres from goal.
Francis' 19th kick, Robbo.
Well, he's been terrific in the early part of this term.
But it's Troy Lehman who got the ball out. I thought Lehman did particularly well. Also, Tony Shaw goes across, and a few words of encouragement to Lehman, but it was a good pass by Francis.
Well, this man has only had 4 kicks for 4 goals. Can he keep that perfect score up? No, he can't. He kicks it right across the face, and it just sneaks through for 1 behind. So 5 kicks for 4-1 to Mark Richardson, 13-8 to 4-5 with 19 minutes left in the third term.
Manson, got a little bit of a nudge forward. Brown. Manson's hand pass, ineffective. McDermott to Marshall for the Crows. Good kick by Marshall, whose disposal is usually impeccable. But Kelly chips in front of Krug to take a good mark. Kelly spots a man wide, and that's Lehman. He's covered plenty of territory today to get his kicks, and he's had his fair share of them. Krasiska at the back, doesn't bother about the punch, and does take a very, very good mark. Gavin Krasiska from the left half-back flank. 16 possessions today. Kicks to the centre wing position. Marking contest out there, and again, no one can come down with it. Morwood sees the ball over the boundary line in front of Smart, and it will be thrown in pretty close to the centre wing position, a few metres on the Adelaide side of centre. Micken taps down from Manson. The ball scooped out the front of the pack. There is a free kick. It's going to be a Collingwood ball, and it will be taken by Paul Williams, youngster from Tasmania. Christian marks right on 50. And will he go short? He will. Oh, Hocking arrived a smidgen late. No, 50 metres. Russell gets up. He's okay. And Hocking pleads his innocence, not guilty.
How far has a kick got to go before it is legitimately a mark?
10 metres.
Scott Russell really lays back into that one. There's a mark to Collingwood right on the line to Moore. And he will be right on the behind post, I'd suggest, when he has to kick.
It's not a bad shot, is it? Right behind Shane Morwood. You can just see how much goal faces open. What's he going to do? Check side it?
Run around, will he? No, he went for your option, Don, but missed by a country mile. So Shane Morwood gets one behind against his name.
Is a country mile longer than a city mile?
Most definitely. When you have to walk it.
And if you ask somebody for directions in the country, it is, I can tell you. Just down around the corner. The corner's 6 miles away.
Danny Hughes does the kicking in again. Morwood, oh, he nearly took a spectacular one-handed grab. The ball was over the boundary line, and it will be thrown at about 50 metres out. That would have been a sensational mark. Very able to grab it.
Yeah, Shane Morwood, he just seems to go through things at half pace, but very, very talented player. Desperate stuff by Smart, can't quite gather the football. Bickley, McDermott, Scott Lee, they're always under pressure though, those defenders. There's a free kick, and it will go to Brown. May have been against Andrew Jarman in the finish. Brown spots a player short, but it's broken down because Smart, oh, there's a good smother. Excellent smother there by Krasiska, and he gets it back. Now gives it to Brown. What can Gavin Brown do? Long kick by Brown to the goal front. Marking contest. Micken is held, surely. And he will take the free kick right in front of the Collingwood goal. Trojan, Mark Micken, in his efforts to lift the Adelaide Crows. Not one of his better games today, but certainly never ever gives in. Francis, Scott Lee punches the ball away. After it goes Russell. In there is Jamison. Lehman can't do anything with it. Maynard. Oh, it's really stopped out there in that mud. Scott Russell, still player, struggling to get it clear. Now the chance for Bickley, and his kick has been marked by McIntyre. Looks to play on, eventually does. Kicks it to centre half forward. Chance now for Liptak. Runs onto the footy. Good tackle by Kelly. Desperate stuff by Craig Kelly. Still the ball at centre half forward. Out it goes from Rowe to Klug, and Klug misses by half a country mile and kicks it out of bounds on the full in the right forward pocket for Adelaide.
And back in centre wing, Graham Wright is down. He's got 2 trainers assisting him to his feet. The physio's gone out there, or the club runner, Medico. There he is.
It's a trifle groggy, doesn't he? I think he got one on the back in the kidney region.
Now he's coming off. He's coming straight off, I think. So obviously there's something wrong there.
McEwen, long kick to the 50-metre line. Kirison looks for a holding the ball decision. There's none there. The ball scooped at the head of Francis, who was chasing his 20th kick. 22 possessions he's had, but right running off the ground, he's okay. And I think it will be Jamie Turner to come on. But back to the play. throw it on centre wing, or half forward it is actually, for the Crows.
I wonder if there was a pre-plan to get right off the ground before he's injured, because Turner was ready. Now I can see Starcevic warming up, so they might be able to pull another change, Collingwood.
Well, scooped out of the pack to Lehman, to Jamie Turner, who, as I said, has just come onto the ground, to Darren Mullane. Bickley giving chase. Turner, who represented Victoria down in Tasmania earlier in the year. Scott Russell. Actually, in that game, he came off before he could get a kick. He had a back injury on that particular occasion. Jarman over the top. In turn, back to Smart. And the Crows will get clear. They've got to make something of this. The kick coming from Tasker. Down towards the left half forward flank. It's picked up though for Collingwood by McEwen, who measures the pass and measures it beautifully once again. Turner, 2 possessions in the space of 30 seconds. Scott Russell, believe me, has had many more than that. Roving well. He and Francis, they've killed them today. Up to Morwood. Ball hits the deck. McGuinness's kick is well smothered. Dacos runs straight into Smart. And the Crows will come away with the football up towards the edge of the square. It's Marshall now in front of Tony Shaw. Onto Jarman. Jarman can kick long.
That is hopeless.
There's no one there. And the ball hits the behind post, and it will be thrown in. Now Peter Dacos looking the worse for wear.
Is that his ankle?
Well,
but really that wasn't a good kick by Jarman. I saw Smart try to offload one earlier, so they've got to direct the ball into the forward line, and Dacos is going off the ground too.
McIntyre caught with the ball, but the 2 number 23s will have to give it back to the umpire.
Actually, when you said about bombing away, that's exactly what Lee Matthews said to his players at quarter time. Don't bomb away, wasn't it?
You can't afford to do it with the breeze, Ian. That's right.
Chance now for Russell. His kick goes into that left back pocket for Collingwood, and we'll have a boundary throw in. So about halfway through this third quarter, and Collingwood have added 2 goals. Adelaide have added 1 since half time. Now a chance for Collingwood to get the ball out towards half back, but a good mark taken by Maynard, who would be perhaps Adelaide Crows' best player. 5 kicks and 7 hand passes, and he's been a good player across half back for the Crows. Rodney Maynard, who doesn't mind kicking a goal. Long kick into the goal square, and Filkey leaves it behind. Tony Shaw, Russell and McEwen. McEwen, a lovely hand pass, puts Brown under a little bit of pressure, but look at the strength of the body. The way he breaks the tackle. Marshall got into the contest again, but couldn't stop the kick going away. And just on the players' interchange area, Tasker takes it over. And Williams, 2 young boys there, having a little bit of a dust-up, and Gerard Healy on the boundary line. What's happening down there?
Yeah, well, Peter Dacos has gone over on his left ankle, and he's just coming down off a treatment. And Graham Wright suffering from a virus, which is giving him an upset stomach, so they've taken him off for precautionary reasons.
McGuinness to Tony Shaw, and the skipper hits the fence. It would appear pretty hard. It'll take a lot more than that to stop Tony Shaw. He comes up with the footy. 10 kicks and 5 hand passes, a little bit below his average. He usually finishes up with an average of around about 30 possessions for a game. That's not bad.
He's playing on a half-back flank today, Peter, and when he's on the ball, he certainly does get it. We see another bit of a dust-up.
Lee and Williams
pushing and shoving.
And Darren Mullane comes in for the assist. Now, Maynard from McDermott, rather, over to Jarman. Jarman up to half forward. Huge pack of players down there. Turner tried to kick it off the ground. Filkey gets offloaded. Turner again. His kick well smothered. Rowe dives on top of it. And it will be a ball up at centre half forward for the Crows with just under 11 minutes remaining in the third term. And Rowe the last to get up. And a baptism of fire for them here this afternoon. Both teams in contention for the 6. Well, that could have been a free kick. Should have been a free kick. Is a free kick. It will be taken by Jamison.
I don't know why Collingwood are going berserk. They've had 19 free kicks to 11 so far in the match.
I don't think you'd argue with that one, though, Robbo, would you?
No, not at all.
And with the breeze at his back, admittedly it's not as strong as it was before, but still very much a westerly. He should be able to go close to kicking this from about 55 metres. I would suggest that's through.
Good kick.
It's a goal. So Jamison puts through his first, and another one to the Crows, their 5th, 13-9 to 5-5.
Well, Jamison, his first goal. He's kicked 20 goals, 11 for the year. And I would say, only having seen this fellow this year, that he would be the best pressure kick in the league. We can all remember the one against Fitzroy, but on that occasion, they really did require a goal. The Crows.
52 points the difference. Jamison's first goal. Brown almost out of the centre, gets collided with. Marshall doing well, one of their leading kick getters today. Christian does the tidying up work and does it well. Kicks to space on the outer side. Kluger might get there first. Back to McIntyre. Marshall gets back into the contest as well, but he has kicked it straight to Gavin Krasiska on the 50-metre line.
Krasiska kicks it straight across the ground. Mullane's made good position, and he kicks it towards centre-half forward, Darren Mullane. A high ball, Morwood.
Come on, umpire, you were there.
Away goes Bickley. Chance for Lee to get it to Micken. Micken's hand pass is broken down by Williams. Russell. Collingwood will go into attack again. Francis has his 20th kick. Opportunity now for Lehman to just kick it a little bit towards Kerrison, and Kerrison into an open goal, puts it through for a very easy Collingwood goal. Kerrison's first goal, and Collingwood go marching on. The Magpies 14-9, Adelaide 5-5.
He's doing a good job, Shane Kerrison. He's got the job on Tony McGuinness. He's very, very strong in the upper body, Kerrison. Got a lot of courage. And here he is running off to create a bit of space. You see there McGuinness attempting but slipping over as Kerrison kicks his first goal for the game. He kicked one last week, Shane Kerrison. He was tagging Mitchell on that day.
14-9 plays 5-5. And this is Troy Lehman. Smart and Morwood, the two number 7. Smart kicks it off the ground. And again, for good measure, to the outer side. Just looking through the stats there. Ian, the Collingwood small players, Francis has got 20 kicks and Russell has got 18. So 30 kicks or 38 kicks between them. Lehman has picked up 16. So around the ground, they've been crumbing it much better than Adelaide. Filkey, just off the centre square, kicks to half forward, and Tony Shaw, dropping back, takes a good captain's mark.
We saw the sock on that occasion. We had a shot of the sock earlier, and that wind really has dropped here.
Mullane to Gavin Brown. Starcevic, who's just come onto the ground for his first touch. He gets around Micken. He too likes kicking a goal. He won't with that one. The ball fisted away from Manson, and it will be out of bounds in the right forward pocket for the Magpies. Or was it a point? It was. So one behind. We'll put that down as rushed. And
Stephen Rowe coming off for Adelaide.
And Danny Hughes will kick in. 14-10 now plays 5-5.
Darryl Hart coming on.
Hughes goes to the outer side. Jamie Turner with a big fist away. Here's Russell again. A hand pass to Starcevic, who gets it back in turn from Williams. And he has missed from point-blank range and put it through for only one behind.
Well, he's kicked more points this year than goals. Craig Starcevic, he's kicked 17 goals and 21 points.
14-11 now to 5-5. He's kicking in yet again. And this time favours the Social Club side. Oh, Tasker!
Mark.
A great mark. Right on the 50-metre line. He'll get it to Marshall, and Marshall plays on quickly down centre field.
In towards the centre position, the good mark taken by Turner, who came on only about 5 minutes ago and has already had about 7 possessions. His kick to Mullane, who in turn finds Francis between wing and half forward. And Tony Francis with his 21st kick. Chipping in there was Bickley. Now a chance for Smart, but Francis has got it again. Russell, gee, they've had a lot of the footy, those two players. Russell's kick to centre half forward. A good punch from behind by Hughes, and he goes after Starcevic a little too fiercely and gives away a free kick. And the umpire just shakes his head. Don?
We all know what you're trying to do, Dan. You watch this.
Well, it's pretty crude stuff, wasn't it? Starcevic now. A lovely long kick by Craig Starcevic. Eventually, he gets a goal. 1 goal, 2 to Craig Starcevic after having just come on the ground. 15-11 plays 5-5, so that's a lead of 11 goals to Collingwood.
Well, he's made his presence felt because what he's doing is going for the actual hit downs, and he's becoming a very mobile ruckman. You will see there Danny Hughes coming through. And Craig finishing up with his first goal, but he's adding a lot of mobility around the ground.
Starcevic now doing the ruck work at that centre bounce, and he applies the tackle on Peter McIntyre, and the boys just probably getting a little frustrated there. No worries for Collingwood, leading by 11 goals and coming home with the breeze at their back.
Manson down in the forward pocket for Collingwood.
Big punch there by McIntyre, and after he punched it, was hit in the head. So he takes the free kick in the centre of the ground and plays on quickly. Nice looking drop punt kick, but no one home for Adelaide. And Craig Kelly, he looks as though he's lifted his game in the last few weeks after having a very ordinary start, along with a lot of his teammates. His kick falls in short. It's been marked by Jamieson. Plays on, kicks it across the face of the goals. There's no one home back there. 2-on-1, McEwen and Kelly. McEwen goes backwards to Tony Shaw. Tony Shaw's kick is a little bit of an up and under. Diving on the football out there. Looks as though it may have been Brown, was it? Desperate stuff. No, Francis. And it goes over for a boundary throw-in. He has a bit of a dip, Tony Francis, doesn't he, for a little bloke?
26 possessions he's had today. He's had quite a few dips. Christian gets the hand pass out, and Gavin Krasiska takes advantage of it on the centre wing position. Kicks up where it's intercepted by Maynard and McDermott. The Adelaide captain will put the Crows back into attack. And they need some goals to add some respectability to their score. But Collingwood's defence has been rock-like this afternoon. Hodges has to try to beat two players. Jarman needs someone going past and finally finds that someone in Liptak, who's kicked 2 goals. And Tony Shaw nearly got clean bowled by that one. It finally ricocheted off his shin through for another rush behind. And we've had 4 rush behinds this afternoon. 101 plays 36, and the skipper thought about kicking it in.
Oh, I don't think he does too much of that. But isn't he a terrific little player, Tony Shaw?
Fantastic.
The great Aussie battler, I'd call him. For anybody watching this game, he's about, what, 5'7" or 5'6"?
Gives plenty of cheek.
And doesn't he ever, Peter?
Not the most, well, skillful player, but I'll tell you what, he always leads from the front, doesn't he? Marshall. Oh, gee, McGuinness got one in the back, but on the other side of the ledger, he could have almost been pinged for holding the ball. Probably the best decision is the one the umpire has given, and that's going to be a ball up.
There in the back, I consider, but then again, the umpire, he was in a better position than what we are.
Knocked down by Christian. Turner, who's certainly made his presence felt since he came onto the ground. Mullane, excellent hand pass. Russell again. On it goes to Lehman. Richardson in front. A juggle. No, nearly.
He's going to pay it. He believed he was in control of it. Well, I think a very doubtful one, because that ball, yeah, okay, he bounced it in his hands a couple of times, but on the third attempt, there's 1, 2, 3. And that time, he really didn't have control of that. Maybe Hughes pushed him out of the way, and that's why the umpire said he played the mark.
He did play the mark. It wasn't a free kick. So 5 goals to Mark Richardson. Well, I think 6 kicks. And he certainly made the most of his opportunities. 16-11, plays 5-6.
You feel for the umpire on occasions. There was a hand around the neck, and there was another one. So you wonder why the umpire paid it, because he really didn't control the ball. Maybe it was that hit around the head from Hughes.
5 goals to Mark Richardson. 107 plays 36. Francis.
Gee, they're doing well in the centre, Collingwood.
Well, Francis and Russell have just blitzed them, haven't they? Mullane. And let's not leave out Lehman. Starcevic. On to Turner. The 2 interchange players combining there. McGuinness gets ridden into the ground. The ball spills out the back to Starcevic, who nearly gets caught with the ball. Francis, a short kick, touched off the boot. A little give out there from Richardson. Didn't come off. It's taken away by Lee.
The ball goes wide to that outer half-back flank position. Lehman, who was just a few minutes ago on this side of the ground. Gee, does he cover some territory? And he gets his left foot to the ball. Close to the line. Big crunch from behind. Russell off the ground. Scott Russell goes across the face. into the right forward pocket. Kick off the ground by Smart. The race is on now. Collingwood 1 against 2. The one player, Kerrison, and eventually McGuinness chips in and gets a nice little kick to Klug. He's going to get brought down. Goes after it. Dispossessed there by Kelly. Smart. Jarman kicks it quickly. No one in particular. Brown marks, and with aggression, Gavin Brown takes it away. Kicks it directly towards a Collingwood goal, and jumping Jimmy Manson takes the mark, gives it to Francis, into an open goal goes Tony Francis, and pings another one for the Magpies. Great football by Collingwood. They never at any stage stopped running, and it started with Gavin Brown.
Well, he had an option, and that was Morwood over in the square, Tony Francis. He may have run just a bit too far, but good play here by Brown. Manson quickly playing on. Watch this, bang, off it goes. He might have gone just that little bit too far, but then again, the umpire let him go, and he could have gone over the top to make sure, but decided to kick it himself. That's his second goal, Tony Francis.
24 kicks to Tony Francis. A splendid effort. He and Scott Russell have been unbeatable around the ground. Gavin Krasiska chipping it at half-back to take that mark. Over the top with the hand pass. Gafer at left half-back flank. Measures the pass, measures it in short, and mark or free kick to Francis or whatever.
The 50-metre was being paid.
He's played a terrific game, hasn't he, this guy?
And he blew time off. That's why they couldn't take advantage.
It's not even three-quarter time, and he's had 29 possessions.
And Russell has had 32. So around the ground, they've cut them to bits. And you add in Mullane 16 and 6, Lehman 18 and 6, Christian 10 and 12.
And more importantly, they've had 84 more possessions than the Adelaide Crows.
It tells on the scoreboard, Robert, doesn't it? Good long kick for goal. He might have got that. He did. 3 goals to Tony Francis, and Collingwood goes further ahead. The Magpies 18-11, Adelaide 5-6.
Well, it just snuck over the line. Tony Francis from a 50-metre penalty. It really did have to make the line, and look at it through the air, the pack underneath.
Tell you what, that was awfully
that
close,
was really
wasn't it?
close, wasn't it?
Yeah, very close.
Well, Danny Hughes not saying anything to the umpire. Bounce back in the centre. Starcevic gets it. Maynard kicks the Adelaide Crows up towards centre half forward, but a good mark taken by Krasiska. He gives the hand pass off to Christian. He in turn goes wider still to Gafer. And Lehman, look at that, a clean pair of heels on Filkey. Left foot kick is a beauty and hits Morwood on the chest. Shane Morwood moving around beautifully, not getting a lot of possessions, but certainly giving them something to fire at centre half forward. No mark taken there by Richardson. Coming in as jumping Jimmy Manson, gives it off there to Francis. Back to Manson. Manson, sweeping hand pass, no one in particular. Kerrison run down by McGuinness. In goes Manson. Turner left foot kick. Free kick, who's it going to? Maybe
It's going
McGuinness?
to Kerrison.
Kerrison for a trip, I think, Robbo.
Was it? No, he's not
Or is it
going back to take
Manson?
it. Manson's
No,
going to
back
take it, isn't
Manson.
it?
I thought it might have been against McGuinness on Kerrison.
Now, this is real testing material for Manson. There's the siren. So the three-quarter time score for Adelaide will not change. They're 5-6-36. And I would think that Manson would have trouble getting the distance here. Let's wait and see.
Oh!
And that's 4 wides in the old cricketing terms. 18-11, 119 Collingwood. They lead Adelaide Crows at three-quarter time, who are 5-6-36.
Thanks, Peter. Yes, we've got Bob Hammond, and he is both the chairman of the Adelaide Football Club and also chairman of selectors. Bob, any trouble wearing the 2 hats?
Oh no, I think that it was important from day one. I was involved from day one just to have seen both functions through, and obviously they're both difficult tasks, but believe that we're handling them all right.
Bob, at the end of the season, you can take 4 uncontracted players from the other AFL clubs. Who have you got in mind?
Well, first of all, we've got to establish who's uncontracted, then look at our own priorities, and specifically no one at this stage. We're well aware of all of the ex-Adelaide boys' form and positions, and we'll just have to assess that a bit later on.
Well, the big word in Melbourne, of course, is that Stephen Kernhan has already been spoken to and in fact signed in some corners. Is there any truth in that rumour?
Well, we'd love it to be true, but there isn't any truth in it, no.
Well, this season the Crows have drawn 300,000 people to Football Park over there. Would it be fair to say that perhaps you've erred in coming in and leaving it so late to come into the competition?
No, I don't think so at all. I think that we needed to have the conditions that we're now playing under. Adelaide has always wanted a side in under reasonable and fair conditions, and we've now got them, and consequently we're in.
But really, if it hadn't have been for Port Adelaide, you possibly wouldn't be with us here today.
That's a possibility.
Looking at today's game, what do you think the Crows can salvage out of this?
We're going to get a very close look in a minute because they look like they're going to bounce the ball.
Well, I think we'll usually get about another 30 seconds. What else have we got?
Well, I just think that what we've got to do is salvage something out of the last quarter. We've just got to keep bending our back and learn something out each week that we play.
Do you think you'll be able to slot one from here?
Yes, I do.
Thanks, Bob.
Gerard. I think Bob Hammond got the last word there. Good on you, Bob.
Gerard had to get off the ground. He'll get a big rest.
Final quarter of Victoria Park, 83 points. The Crows trailing by 18-11 to 5-6. Well, they'll certainly remember their first visit to Victoria Park. Starcevic knocks the ball down. Maynard, not a clean possession. It comes out to McDermott. Out it goes wide to Jamison, who kicks from a standing start up towards half forward. Marking contest out there, and the little fella, Tony Shaw. Guts and determination personified, takes the grab. Inside his own defensive 50-metre line. Francis the target, best man on the ground. And Francis takes that good mark on right centre wing. A high bomb to Mullane, who doesn't let him down. Collingwood doing as they like. This is Lehman over to Scott Russell, and he and Francis have really blitzed them around the ground. Hughes in front, out to Smart. He'll get it back to Hughes, and Hughes with the clearing kick kicks it towards the centre wing position. Jamie Turner and also Mullane. He left it for Mullane onto Gaper. And Collingwood seemingly doing as they like. Christian to Krasiska. A beautiful kick, a mammoth shot, and just off target it hit the post. And that went every bit of 60 metres. The first score of the final quarter going to Collingwood to make the difference 84 points. Danny Hughes kicks in 18-12 to 5-6.
Tell you what, the crowd would have erupted there. The oohs and ahs as the ball went through the air were enormous from the Collingwood fans.
Well done, Tony McGuinness.
To this near side, Marshall. He's caught by Russell. Kerrison has the football and eventually handballs it further afield, about 10 or 15 metres, into the pocket. Manson can't do much with it, so we'll have a boundary throw in about 40 metres around from the Collingwood goal. 18-12 to 5-6. Ruckman, Starcevic, McIntyre. Ball come down towards Russell. Gathered now by Bickley. He just ran out of bounds. And the boundary umpire very close to the action there. And Maxi down on the boundary line. What's happening?
Well, Adelaide Football Club's been fined $500 to $1,000. The team manager didn't inform the AFL official of an interchange move in the third term.
Kick there by Francis. Chance now for Richardson. High ball into the goal square, but it's punched away there by Danny Hughes and over for a boundary throw in the right forward pocket for the Magpies. So with 22 3/4 minutes left, the margin is the only guessing work that we've got in front of us at the moment. Micken, McDermott, ball near Lee, but he leaves it to go over. Another boundary throw in.
22.5 minutes left. McDermott and to lift his side, flagging at the moment 5-6 to 18-12. Mickett and Manson had a great duel all day. Manson's probably done better in that regard. But the ruckmen haven't really had a dominating effect on the match this afternoon. It's been the little guys of Collingwood who've done the damage. And Paul Williams seems to have damaged an ankle or something there in that contest. He gets up a little bit proppy. Smart over the top and goes for the boundary line again. So the boundary umpire will do it once more. And Tony Francis handing it back. 26-5 he's had today. And Scott Russell 21-12 into fine contributors. And the players almost, well, just going through the motions out there. The Magpies, always hard to toss here, as the Crows have found out. Manson and Micken again go at it. Kerrison, McDermott pressures him, and the ball rushed through for only one behind. So at least that'll get it out of that pocket. 21.5 minutes left in the match. 18-13 to 5-6 as Alan McAllister looks on interestedly. Daddy Hughes kicks in. Some light rain again starting to fall here at Victoria Park. At the back is Shane Kerrison. Onto Gafer. Jarman's tackle just a trifle late. Christian tries to tap the ball forward. Jarman has given away the free kick, and it will be taken by Christian at centre field. And with the wind behind him, it sort of sprung up with these clouds coming across. He doesn't go for the long bomb. Tony Shaw gets into space, tries to get the hand pass out. Good tackle by McIntyre, and the ball comes to Smart.
Oh, the ball's in the clear.
It was in the clear. The umpire, I think, heard a little bit then. Maybe Tony Shaw a little slow to get rid of that.
So the ball up about 35 to 40 metres from the Collingwood goal. Up high there was Richardson. Couldn't tap the ball clear, and still a crunch of players having difficulty in moving the football out. Lehman tried to kick it out. Now a chance for Scott Lee. A hand pass wide. Mullane, a kick across his body to the front of the goals is not too bad. Marking contest here. Where can Collingwood do with this football? Chance now for McGuinness to get clear, and he does so. Nice little pass finds Jamison. Handball over the top finds Bickley. Bickley's handball in turn to McDermott. McDermott shares it away with McGuinness. McGuinness's kick. Gee, that breeze must be strong. That ball went hardly anywhere. Now Starcevic away to Tony Shaw. Tony Shaw's kick up towards half forward. It holds up in the mud there. Bickley comes away with the foot. He just gets his foot to the ball and kicks it, but it breaks down. Tony Shaw, good vision. Handball to Krasiska. He kicks it all right normally. This is no exception to full foot. Out comes jumping Jimmy Manson, and he marks about 35 metres out. And boy, do the Collingwood fans enjoy the antics of this big fellow.
Well, he's playing in the forward pocket and has done in the second half, Manson. And he's just too quick for Mick, and he plays at centre-half forward as well, so he has got a bit of mobility and a little bit of speed to hold those positions down.
Doesn't mind kicking a goal either. That's straight through the centre for his third.
3 goals to Manson, 19-13, 127, Adelaide, 5-6, 36.
He's done particularly well in the centre bounces, Manson. He's been getting up very high. Micken is capable of jumping that little early, which does upset a player of Manson's style. But Manson playing with a lot of enthusiasm, played well last week as far as the hit-outs went, and it really has been jumping up high and giving Collingwood a lift in the centre.
Manson's third goal. McIntyre taps down. Ball comes out towards the centre wing position. Turner gets the front posse. Kelly, good hand pass. On to Russell. Francis, the two best players on the ground. Manson. Or can he make it 4 goals? This shot will be a little bit more difficult because he's on the angle. The fans are liking it. They don't mind the rain.
Well, he was in front. Now, when he was breaking there, Tony Francis, look, see Manson in front of Micken. He's got to learn Mark Micken to get in front. Maybe they should make a change, get McIntyre into the back pocket and Micken back on the ball, the Crows.
He'll need to aim for the right goalpost. He's done that. It's coming back, and he gets it. So 4 goals to Manson. 2 in this quarter. Collingwood 20 goals, 13, 133. Adelaide 5-6, 36. And Adelaide still has not scored a goal at the other end. In fact, their sum total down there to date is 1 behind.
Well, they have made the change, actually. Now they've got McIntyre for full back on Richardson, and Hughes has now gone on to Manson, and that was a beautiful hook, wasn't it?
Would it make any difference how many changes they made?
Well, it doesn't, but at least they've rectified a fault. Now Micken's back in the centre for this bounce down.
And so is the ball. Francis gets it out again. This time Jamie Turner's on the end of it. His long kick up towards, in fact, inside 50. Williams racing for it. Lee gets caught. Morwood could kick a goal. 35 metres out. 45-degree angle. Manson almost again. The juggle wasn't quite there.
Picked being held. Hughes against Hughes.
It's going to be a free kick, so he'll get his third for the quarter. This will be the third goal that Danny Hughes has given away from a free kick, if he kicks it. So Manson for number 5. It's the angle he has to kick at. Could not possibly miss, and doesn't. It's a goal. 5 goals to Manson, 3 this quarter. Collingwood get their 21st, 21-13 to 5-6.
Well, I suppose you could say a free kick. Look, Manson's holding on. That's what I say, a doubtful free kick. You see that? See what's happening? I reckon the umpires should open their eyes, especially in those contests, because there's just too much holding on that goes on. Players don't know how to use their bodies correctly, and the umpires are only adding to it.
So with plenty of time left, Collingwood just go marching on. 21 goals to 5. It's probably not beyond the realms of possibility that they kick 30 goals. Marshall kicks Adelaide towards half forward.
Marshall's hurt, he was laid out.
Comes away with the football from half back. Kicks it to half forward. Starcevic there. Good punch away by Tasker. And Tasker hasn't done a bad job for Adelaide in his first game. Only had 7 kicks and 2 hand passes, but at least he's shown a bit of desperation.
Now that's bad marking by Klug. Now he shouldn't allow his man Kelly to come in and hit a fellow like that.
Oh, filthy as he put that man under some pressure. Bickley, is it, under the pack? Good tackle applied by Russell, but gee whiz, I don't know what Grant Filkey thought Bickley was going to do with the football when he accepted the hand pass. Between wing and half forward, favouring the Magpies. Up over the top, Starcevic, McGuinness, Williams, Brown. Hand pass, not bad play there by Starcevic. At least got it out into the open. Krasiska overran it. Jarman, high hand pass. Smart's going to get caught. Gets the hand pass away. McDermott, McGuinness tries to do something with the hand pass, but forced to kick with the right. Up towards half forward, punched away by Collingwood again. And Kelly, on all fours, thumps it over the boundary line. And I think that was what was missing in the Collingwood performances earlier in the season. Desperation, and they've certainly shown that all day. Christian, Brown, Kerrison, left foot kick by that player. Should be marked and is by Smart, just backward of centre wing. Smart playing on Shane Morwood. Maybe with the rain, the wind may have dropped a little. And the kick goes towards centre half forward. No mark taken. Everyone leaves it behind. Filkey goes back after it again. Chipping in as Mullane. Very determined, Darren Mullane. Off to Brown. Turner at the back. Little kick off the ground here would be advantageous. Ooh. No. Left it for Micken. What did you think, Don? Jamison? And eventually Micken out of bounds on the full. So now you get a chance, Don. What did you think of that little bit?
Well, Jamie Turner slipped over at the critical moment.
Oh, beautiful. Diplomacy of the first order. The free kick will go.
You're a man of adjectives. I've put a few down. How would you describe this as an annihilation, a debacle, a massacre, a landslide? How would you describe it, Ian?
Something that Adelaide people probably aren't enjoying watching. The ball at half forward for Collingwood, and McGuinness will clear across to Filkey.
Filkey on to Tasker. Just off the edge of the centre square, he's gone out towards half forward, looking for and finding Hart. Getting pretty dark here at Victoria Park. Hart with an up and under kick against that breeze. Still pretty strong. Mullane in front, should be paid the mark.
There's a good one too, Peter.
Darren Mullane from centre half back. Out wide, he's got a couple of options there. McEwen and Francis, and they combine. Doesn't mind a run, Ronnie McEwen. 20-metre hand pass, inboard to Gaither. Gaither gets around McGuinness. Kicks to half. Oh, Richardson missed one that he certainly should have taken. Gets offloaded. Russell kicks at goal and could get a score. But the wind taking it just wide of the behind post. Richardson seems to be okay. He's kicked 5 goals, so he can wear that.
Do you think he was surprised with the way the ball carried, young?
Well, I was just looking at Bickley. He was also hurt with Richardson, and he got straight on his feet. Bickley, that was a good play because Richardson's still hurt.
Hughes kicks out to Micken. Oh, it's a pretty awful sort of a disposal, and it's over the boundary line.
Now that's interesting. Dacos coming back on, Shaw off. Now Dacos hurt his ankle, went off the ground. Now if you're coming on, you can't have hurt it too badly. And Shaw coming off. Now I wonder if Shaw's fit.
Well, Dacos is running okay. He did limp off though, as you mentioned. McDermott. Pretty hard to get out of that pack. And finally kicked away by Bickley up towards the interchange area. Klug racing for it. Can't get a handle on the ball. Good block by Kelly. Klug's kept the ball in play, but to the advantage of Collingwood. Gaither to Lehman. Lehman kicks long. Micken sets himself for the mark. Starcevic comes down with it. No player played it by the umpire, and that was a good decision. going to be a Collingwood free kick, though, just the same. It will be taken by Shane Kerrison, I think. Dacos has got it, but I don't think it's his ball. Kerrison to take the free at left centre wing. McDermott stands the mark. He's got in short. Christian from 55 metres out, kicks long into the goals. Manson a juggle, almost a mark. Rushed through for one behind.
Actually, that was good play by Kerrison, because Christian Mann, who is Micken, went down for the long kick. He spotted Christian, and that was exceptionally good play. It really does put pressure on Micken, and sows that doubt whether he should go back or forward.
104 points the difference. Hughes kicks in, smart over the top. Micken again, this time chips it short, and Marshall takes the ball inside the square.
Marshall forced to kick with the left foot up towards centre half forward. No mark taken. Turner's the first to recover. Hand pass goes wide to Russell. Russell, who's knocked up, getting the footy to Mullane. He's had a few possessions. Round onto the left foot goes Darren Mullane. A long kick in towards full forward. No mark taken. They're a chance again. Kerrison's tap on. Looking back there for Brown, but eventually Adelaide clear through McGuinness, who's worked tirelessly against the odds, and he pushes it over for a boundary throw-in. Tony Shaw apparently is just having a rest, but, well, Don Scott has made mention of the fact that Dacos went off with a crook ankle. There's a good mark, taken by Brown.
He is one of the best marks, if not the best mark in the league, and I know it's a big statement when you've got fellows like Stuart Lowe, but this man certainly has got all the attributes needed to take a good mark. 17 kicks and 17 handballs. And he's taken his 10th mark. Well, he averages about 9 to 10 marks a game.
And 2 goals.
Oh, he's a good player,
and
this
I
fellow.
think he's probably resting now in that forward pocket. Kicks it high. The wind is going to bring it back a little bit, but not far enough. So it's through for one behind. 2 goals, 2 to Gavin Brown. That Collingwood scoreline of 21-15. Adelaide a miserable 5 goals, 6.
Lee on the left half-back flank for the Crows. Goes along the ground, a real grubber. Jamieson looking for the front possession. Ball scooped out of the pack and picked up by Darren Mullane. In the road, though, is Jarman for the Crows. And Jarman quick to get boot to ball. Kicks it towards the centre wing position. Gafer went for the spoil, then comes down with the ball. Gets it to Dacos. He's moving okay. Krasiska, a good solid performance from him. Kicks to half forward. No mark taken. Back it comes to McGuinness. It was Richardson spilling it. Jarman again at midfield. The Crows still to kick a goal. Marshall was down at the other end, that is. Marshall was the big flyer in that pack. They've only scored 1 behind down there. Not really good enough. Jarman again. Might have given away the free kick for in the back.
Kick. Took his eye off the ball and just went for Kelly, Jarman.
Terrific play by Craig Kelly.
Kelly hand pass. Krasiska. And again a long kick to within 35 metres of goal. Kerrison, a hand pass. Brown, snapshot. He's hooked it too much, and only 1 behind to Gavin Brown, who has kicked 2 goals, 3 now, has he?
That's
2-3?
2-3, yep.
Out of 21-16, so 142 plays 36, a difference of 106 points. Hughes, he's been busy today down there. He won't be cold. Manson, front position. Bickley at right half-back, chips the ball short, and Jarman takes it, gets it back to Marshall, who's certainly tried hard all day for his side. Marshall's kick over the head of Liptak. Turner will get there first. Started on the bench, but has done everything right since he came on. Centering kick, strong mark taken by Christian, stood his ground well. Troy Lehman in front of Filkey, kicks inside 50 down towards half forward. Strong mark again to Gavin Brown.
Gee, there was a statistic back here at half-back that won't be registered in any of the newspapers. The shepherd by Craig Kelly to give Turner a clear path was terrific stuff.
He doesn't waste the ball here, does he, Troy Lehman? He uses his hands well. He's always looking for someone.
Gavin Brown to add to his tally of 2-3. 36 possessions so far, which is not a bad afternoon's work. Krasiska getting into space and taking an easy mark.
Actually, that was a great camera shot there to actually see what Brown was doing just prior to his kick. He really did. The eyes just wandered for that section, and he saw Christian and then spotted him with the ball.
231 kicks to Collingwood so far.
Just watch this in replay.
59. And the handball's 149 to 102. So wherever you look, Collingwood well on top. Francisco will get the distance. The accuracy looks okay, but it's only one behind.
Pretty hard to read. That goal umpire didn't even look as though he moved, did he?
Didn't. 143, plays 36 under 9 minutes.
Danny Hughes to kick the ball back into play. Completely annihilated Adelaide in field play. The Magpies. There's a mark taken out there by McIntyre on the 50-metre line. Called to play on. Not a bad kick into the breeze, but a mark there to Kelly. He plays on. Shares it away with Mullane. Back to Kelly. 3 possessions between those 2 players. Kelly's kicked to half forward, and the mark was taken by Starcevic. Nearly kicked this, Craig Starcevic. Set it up with the breeze. Long drop punt kick to the square. No mark there to Richardson. And through to the Magpies for another behind. So we'll put that down to Craig Starcevic, who kicked 2 behinds before he kicked a goal in the 3rd term, and now has 1 goal 3 against his name. Hughes kicks to this near side. Christian, good punch from behind. Lehman's a chance once again, but just got his shin to the football and knocked it over. 19 years of age, Troy Lehman. 18 years of age, Mark Richardson. And 18 years of age, Paul Williams. And of course, we've got Jason McCartney. Here's Dacos. Oh, look at the magician there. At work. Dacos gets a 2nd goal. And Collingwood get their 22nd with 7.5 minutes left in the last quarter.
You wonder how bad his ankle was, Peter Dacos, or whether he's had an injection, because he showed no signs of an injured ankle as he went through on that occasion. That was a good goal. He kicked a magnificent goal in the 2nd quarter. And he's kicked 2-1 for the game.
Dacos the 2nd and Collingwood's 22nd. Starcevic up high. And there he is again. Dacos in front of Hocking, who plays tunnel ball with it. Bickley gives it back to McDermott. Easy.
4-on-1.
And it comes to Williams, but there is a whistle.
There's a free kick. Interesting. Shepherding, the umpire said.
Hart to take the free kick. Only 8 possessions to him this afternoon. It's for Hodges, who's been fairly quiet, predictably. They still haven't got a goal down there. Dacos, who was moving okay. Paul Williams. Francis called for it, but he had plenty of options, as Collingwood have done right throughout the afternoon. Maud was the target. Hand pass comes out to Kerrison from Krasiska, and he gives it back away to Tony Francis, who's been brilliant. A little bit quieter perhaps in the last quarter. Richardson and McIntyre. None can bring it down. Manson, what's he going to do with it this time? A big pack of players down there. McGuinness over to Jarman. Jarman kicks long to centre wing. Krasiska over the top of Marshall. Gaper reads it well at the back. Maynard rides him into the ground. Nothing for it from the umpire. Crowd was looking for a free kick, and that's out of bounds. On centre wing, next to the interchange area. 6.5 minutes left in this match. I was going to say contest, but it hasn't really been a contest since half-time. Collingwood simply too good for the Crows today. Marshall has played well, though, up to the 50-metre line, and they'll come away with it again. Williams, what a future he has. Great player. And this young fellow, 23 kicks to Lehman, 30 possessions, and down to Mark Richardson. So the youth of Collingwood combining there superbly. And Mark Richardson has kicked 5 goals.
This is a great build-up. I'm impressed with Williams, the way he's got very little aggression, the maturity he shows. Lehman doesn't waste the ball. And this young fellow, when he lifts a few weights and gets a bit stronger in the upper body, he'll be a player as well.
From 48 metres out, is off target. Allowed for the win, but allowed just a little bit too much. And 1 behind was the result. 5.5 minutes left, 151 to 36. It's been, is a good percentage booster for Collingwood. And it could be important in the run to the post. Bickley takes the mark in front of Shane Morwood. On to Jarman. Jarman still inside his defensive 50-metre line and kicks out to Tasker on right centre wing. And that's a good kick. It finds Klug, who marks right on.
He was gone.
The umpire said, yes, you've got to play on. He gets it to Jamieson.
And the Adelaide Crows still scoreless in this last quarter. The Collingwood defence, lousy.
Oh, it's a
Kelly,
free
that
kick.
could have been a throw, yes. And the umpire very close there, Craig, so it was always going to be a troublesome one once you lift it in the air. They've kicked one behind up to this right-hand end, the Adelaide Crows, and that was in the second term.
It's a SWAT squad. All those men dressed in black.
That gentleman trying to get them all out of the road's got a job in front of him. Chance for Liptak. Not a bad kick, but it hits the post. So at least they've kept their average up. They've now kicked it behind in each of the second and last quarters into the win. Ronnie McEwen, 4.5 minutes left. Collingwood defence. Mean, black and white fighting machine. McEwen comes to this near side. Marking contest, gets to the back. Starcevic, a little flip over the top. Unselfishly, Krasiska gives it to Francis. Francis's kick, pretty ordinary in the finish. Goes through all players. Richardson, can he get his sixth? Handballs at the back. Smart. Kick off the ground by Morwood. Brown, left foot, snapshot by Gavin Brown. Close to the line, through for a behind. 2 goals for to Gavin Brown. Magpies 22-20. The Crows 5-7. And Danny Hughes to bring it back into play. Kicks to this near side. Mickens in good position. Should have been paid the mark.
No, well done by
Away
Mickens.
comes Bickley. Marshall. Short kick. Going to be broken down there. Kelly. Strong. Good pass too. Francis, has he had a picnic? Tony Francis coming up for kick number 31. And 7 hand passes as well as 3 goals. Best on the ground. There's a mark to Collingwood. Richardson only 30 metres out on a slight angle.
Michael Christian back on centre wing's got cramp. As we see there, a little nudge out. He's certainly got a football brain, this fellow. Being a big fellow, they take a little while to mature, so his body really hasn't filled out yet.
Oh, another very ordinary kick. Young fella would be disappointed with that. And he's kicked his 3rd behind. So after kicking about, 5 straight, he's kicked 3 behinds in a row. And he had 9 kicks, but it's certainly been something to kick to.
7-4 last week, so it's a good effort in consecutive weeks.
Under 3 minutes left. Yes, his dad will be pretty pleased. He's watching in the stands this afternoon. McIntyre in front. Nobody can take the mark. It comes down to Lehman. Gets around McGuinness. Shoots at goal. Is off target. Another behind. So academic to the overall result. 22-22. 44 effective scoring shots to 12. And that probably tells us something. It's Victoria Park worth to the Magpies. Marshall goes out wide to Lee, and he's kicked to the centre wing position. Kelly, Lehman gets around 3 Crows, kicks to half forward. Manson's on his own, and he decides to go for a run. Marshall won't catch him. Ball coming around, and Hughes has marked it just on the line. Looks for John. Always puts in a pretty good performance, no exception this afternoon. Gets away from Morwood. Not the greatest of kicks he'll ever deliver, either Lee in front of Francis. I think we both agree unanimously best on the ground. McDermott soccers the ball further forward, up to Hodges. Beats McDermott. Turner goes off the ground. Onto Dacos. Shrugs one tackle from Marshall, breaks clear, goes for the spiral punt. A magnificent kick into the square. 2 Collingwood players are there, and Richardson has taken the mark.
And the field umpire is 80 metres behind play after that kick.
Magnificent torpedo punt. Here it is. Look at that. Covered a good 60 metres, maybe more. And he shouldn't have any trouble kicking another goal. He doesn't. So Richardson gets his 6th. He can thank Peter Dacos for that one. 23-22 for 5-7. Were you impressed, Don Scott?
Yes, well, on some occasions you think they've got to ring the bell early in a game, and today's one of those games. The Crows really haven't been in it, and everything that Collingwood have done has worked out. What a magnificent kick here. The Crows guys were in front, but it was Richardson just with a better judgment, I suppose.
6 goals to Richardson. A magnificent mark after that torpedo punt kicked by Peter Dacos. who himself has 2 goals after having a stint on the bench with a sore ankle. He's certainly moving okay now. 160 plays 37. Starcevic, that's as good as a kick, that punch. They might get another goal. Scott Russell off the ground. Morwood just couldn't quite make ground to get there, and Scott Lee does the tidying up work for the Crows.
Chance now for the Crows to get out of half back. Here's Maynard. High kick by Maynard, goes towards half forward. 45 seconds left, and a good mark taken by Williams. Transfers play to this near side, and as confident as ever for a young 18-year-old player. Bounces it twice on the slippery ground, and then kicks with the left foot towards the wing here. Lehman can't mark the football. Kerrison and McGuinness on the bottom. Tap. Williams is there again. Filkey over the top, nearly rode him like Roy Higgins, but Gafer takes it over. And we'll have a boundary throw in on the players' interchange area. Perhaps only another passage of play left in the game. Boundary throw in, Ruckman there. Klug in front, Francis. Left foot kick by that player. Russell can't quite mark. Jarman gathers that awkward ball. And left foot towards centre half forward. And it's all over. Collingwood win comprehensively. 23-22, 160. Adelaide 5-7, 37.
I've never seen so many police and security guys jump out of the fenced area too as soon as the siren rang to keep the crowd at bay, and they're staying over the fence this afternoon too. So the idea is working, and that's good for the players to get off the ground without interference from the public. So the AFL will be pleased with that, and Collingwood would be pleased with the scoreboard, because a comprehensive win, they've really boosted their percentage, which could be all important in the run home to the finals. And the Magpie players being given a standing ovation by the crowd, they'll be pretty happy with that. Repeating the final scores: Collingwood 23-22, 160, defeating Adelaide 5-7, 37.